Good evening, and welcome to the first episode of Total Party Recap, TPK Roleplay's brand new content recap and talk show. My name is Tyrant, and I am one of three hosts for this show. Joining me are Turk and Heck, your second and third hosts for this from now into perpetuity. God, hey everyone, hey, we're gonna have a great show tonight! Yay! Um, yeah, so for all our first time viewers out there, let's just go around the table and introduce ourselves real quick, starting with Turk.
Hey everybody, my name's Turk, or Turk accented on Twitter, Turk with an accent here on Twitch. But just Turk here on TPK. I'm a player, DM, general pest in the Discord, and doer of things. I'm really excited to be here. Really honored to be asked to help put together some excellent things and just show to everyone how awesome TPK is.
All right. Hi, all you lovelies out there. I'm Sir Heckalot. I'm Sir Heckalot on Twitch, on the Discord, on Twitter, basically everything. You know where to find me. I am mostly a player on TPK, but I have been given the GM status, so who knows? I might GM something eventually. We'll see. Um, but yeah, I'm titled Saver of Animal on there. If you have any animal questions, I'm your girl. Um, Other than that, yeah, just even doing the prep work for this show has been so fun. I can't wait to share this with all you guys. And let's do this.
Yeah. And once again, I am Tyrant, GM, staff member, and host for TPK Roleplay. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Dr. Tyrant. How about a little background on TPR? This show was designed with the busy viewer in mind. We here at TPK understand that not everyone has the time to consume all of our content, so we're hoping this show will be an answer to that need. We will be recapping and talking about each stream and event that happens at TPK for the week prior every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can't talk standard times right now, my brain. Tonight, we will be recapping TPK Roleplay's 14 Days of Halloween event. The event as a whole mimicked some of the Halloween events that you may see on TV or streaming platforms. You, the viewers, if you have any questions in this first episode that you might want answered about some of the content or just have something you'd like to talk to us about, feel free to say so in chat and we'll do our best to incorporate that into our discussions. Yeah, so this is a recap of the 14 Days of Halloween. Therefore, some of the content that we discuss and some of the clips that we will show may be disturbing to some viewers. So, viewer discretion is advised. Now that we have all the formalities out of the way, how about we dive into tonight's episode? Huh?
Yeah.
All
Why
right.
not? You know?
Go for it.
First off, hey guys, welcome. So excited to do this. How was your guys' Halloween?
It's different, that's for certain. You know, nothing to really be done about that. But man, it felt really good to be able to just talk to other people, even through a
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
And you know what? This Halloween was really good because, in particular, I got to wear so many more costumes this season than any other season before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Same.
8-year-old me is very jealous right now of all the stuff I got to buy with ill-advised purchases to make these just to have fun. My girlfriend not as crazy, but
Yeah, yeah. Heck.
I mean, yeah, like it was yeah, also pretty different for me, but I think we made it work. I still, got to hand out, well, not physically hand out candy to kids, but we had like a bunch of little like bags just kind of lined up on the stairs that I shared in the Discord. So people would just like come up with, just their group and go and take a bag and then leave, and then the next group would come up. That I was actually very surprised and very proud of my neighborhood for being as good as they were about it. Like, we didn't have to tell anyone, like, hey, like, maybe chill out a little bit. Like, we just hung out in the backyard making s'mores.
Yeah,
Um, and
that's awesome.
yeah, it was really good. And there were some very cute costumes out there. Like, there's this one little boy that had like this little dinosaur costume. He just like came running through our yard. And it was really sweet. So yeah,
Love it.
it was really good. There was a good
Costumes are the
energy
best.
that I haven't really felt in my neighborhood in a long time. So I think this was very good.
Yeah, I think I know some places banned Halloween, especially like all the walking around and doing whatever for because of COVID. But I'm glad that everyone was able to at least experience some facsimile of what Halloween really is. Halloween is my favorite holiday, just because I don't know, it's just so different from everything else. In my experience, like I can remember when I was a kid dressing up and going all over the place. Like we went to multiple different neighborhoods and like outlet malls and stuff. Like I don't know if that's common where you guys are from, but like outlet malls out near where I grew up, they used to like put on Halloween like trick or treats and stuff like that, and so we used to do that. Like the first costume I ever did was Mr. Incredible, which come on, obviously.
Oh, that's so good.
Um, but yeah, no, my Halloween was fine. It was more of a like a personal health, mental health kind of day. I just hung out with my best friend the entire day. We painted our nails, which was fun.
Very good.
And like we, he's a professional design coordinator for his company. So like he has a journalism major and everything. So we took a bunch of pictures and stuff like that. And so it was a good night watching movies and drinking Halloween cocktails and stuff like that. But yeah. Um, so anything else you guys want to talk about before we dive into our first episode here? No?
I think
No?
I'm ready to go.
I'm real ready to go.
We're pumped.
All right. First out of the gate is, let's see here. Why didn't I have this up? First out of the gate is Abandon All Hope,
Mhm.
which
Part
was,
one.
yeah,
Part one.
part one.
Part one. So yeah, I'll be taking over this one, you guys. So the yeah, our first one shot of the Halloween season actually ended up not being a D&D one shot. This was based on the Alien RPG system, so a very new thing that Mysteria, shout out, got to run for a couple players, and it was so cool to watch. It was very stressful at some points. Especially referencing what are called stress die in the game. I could feel them. I could physically feel them in my soul. Okay. So yeah, so just beginning the one shot, we saw a seemingly normal day on Hadley's Hope, pretty ramshackle base, but you know the marshals are making do with what they have and doing research, all that jazz. We meet our four characters. So the first being Officer Janice McWhirr, getting a strange transmission from or about some strange creature attacking somebody or attacking this guy's face. So she calls over to the medical bay where we meet our uh, doctor man, Sonny Siggs, and they prepare for whatever this is that comes in. The patient arrives with a family in tow, and yes, with all certainty of the transmission, this patient arrives with a abomination stuck to his face, casual, and um, they try to get a little story, a little background behind it. The family apparently found what looked like hundreds of just eggs. The husband approached them, and a creature burst out and attached to his face. So Sunny, being the go-to medical guy, attempts to remove this abomination from the man's face and finds out the hard way that these things expel a very acidic substance and kind of sends everybody around into a little bit of a panic. Um, yeah, that causes McWhirr to put kind of a soft lockdown on the base, and they try to find any information about creatures like this, but can't really seem to find anything. What they were able to find, or at least glean from this creature, was a mandible. Sunny was able to take a mandible off of this thing. They decided to make a plan after that. They will return to medbay to incinerate the body, both organism and patient. And once they split up to do that, they get a message from the higher-ups to keep the specimen and the body, but McWhirr, trusting her gut instead of the message from the higher-ups, keeps going with the plan. The other three go back to medbay and find that the creature is no longer on the man's face. He's sitting straight up, seems to be fine, and the specimen is being examined. They say that creature seemingly died and just detached itself from the man. And even worse, they aren't in quarantine anymore. They kind of wandered out from that, and Sunny decides to pull rank and demand that they be moved back. But as they're doing that, without warning, the man starts convulsing. An alien life form bursts out of the man's chest. Like, if you've seen the movies, you know. Sunny scrambles to find something in which to combat the creature, entrusting Hirsch, one of the other characters played by Ult, with an improvised weapon. The creature unfortunately makes it to the floor despite their attempts, and it's too slippery to catch, and weapon disintegrates, and the floor also disintegrates, losing the alien to the floor. The squad regroups, decontaminates, and gets ready for whatever comes, and that's actually where they ended that first part on quite a cliffhanger.
It's very rare we get a two-shot on TPK, and that I think I could agree that was cut perfectly.
Yes.
Meg came in with a plan of exactly what she wanted to do,
Mhm.
and it was just executed to perfection. I mean, maybe the cast was in on it. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think that's a sign of a
I
good
don't know.
group.
I don't know. I think they seemed as shocked as
Oh no, of course
as
not.
we all
No,
were.
I not actually. I'm just conspiracy theory in my brain how this turned out so well.
Personally, I'm very happy that we started 14 days off with that one shot. It's definitely, to me, like the whole aliens thing in general, like alien based, extraterrestrial based horror is a little more visceral than some of the other things that you can get into, and so starting it off on such a strong foot, I think is very. I think we did that very well. But yeah, no. Do we have a clip from this one shot, good sir?
We do. Let me get this special screen, though. I think we might be encountering some technical difficulties.
Oh, I see.
Oh yeah.
Hold with us one moment. And
Hold,
if
please.
while we are dealing with this, if you do have any questions, feel free to put them. Dev says we were never in on it, ever.
Ever.
If you do have any questions or things that you want us to talk about, like I said in the beginning, just put them in there throughout the night, and we'll figure out a way to incorporate your desires into our chat.
course.
But yeah, is it working?
It's of course phasing in and out of existence. So
Sure.
but we can give it a shot. I mean, if Twitch chat's out here saying they can see us. I don't know. Someone give me a thumbs up, thumbs down in chat if that's even possible. If you understand what we're saying, if it's not just robot garbage, shoot us a quick, hey, this is working, or hey, no, you guys are terrible.
Please
Kill
help.
your
I've been
internet
told
provider.
I've been told multiple times the audio is fine. So
So they're hearing us.
yeah.
So all right, you know what? I'm gonna press forward. You're currently stable. That's good. Thank you, sir. For a moment, let's move quickly then.
No, we're stable.
All right. So don't worry, we're stable, and someone is sterile.
Seg, you might need to take a little bit because asking us to undress while you're holding all those deadly implements is not.
Don't worry,
really...
I'm sterile.
That's not the question, but nice to know. Why are you pointing those?
Everyone in chat is questioning
Actually-
you right now. So am
actually-
I.
So yeah, that's just Dev. Honestly, that's just Dev being Dev and Dev being wonderful. Not much else
So
to
perfect.
that.
I had to choose that clip. It was just
I mean, yeah. I mean, again, the group meshed so well together. Everyone's playing off each other. Everyone's playing into their roles on the ship. I mean, everyone came into that game knowing the premise, knowing it's aliens, but they just did so well, still blundering into mistakes. And the stress die definitely helped that. Oh my gosh, the mechanics behind it just lend themselves so easily to that scenario.
And this wasn't a this one shot wasn't in 5e, was it? Was it a
no. This was
separate?
the Alien RPG. It wasn't even D&D.
Oh, okay. So it was
So,
like
yeah,
official
entirely
alien
different
stuff.
thing. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. As you'll see, we actually had quite a few different systems that we played through during 14 days, and that's something that we're really getting better at here at TPK in general. It's fine, heck.
We love the cats.
We love the cats.
Most
It's
watch
all
clip.
good. It's all good. unless your cat scared you, then that's a different
No,
that's a different
she's
question.
fine. She just is lost in the hallway over here. Apparently.
But yeah, no, we're always having more and more different systems and content, and I know you'll see quite a few different systems as we progress through these different episodes. Real quick, question that I have for you both: what is both of your favorite genres of horror?
That is a tough question because, in general, when I'm coming into a horror movie, I'm going to be scared either way. Even if it is like, oh, like pop out, like this story is terrible, but the monster pops out and does ooga booga booga in front of you. Like, yeah, that's gonna get me. But I think in regards to really good horror movies,
Mhm.
it has to be the slow burn psychological stuff, like
Mhm.
Get Out, Hereditary, even Midsommar. Invisible Man is one actually
Mhm.
only recently got to see, and it's perpetual, sure, but it's stuff that will play with your head a little bit as a viewer. Things that are plausible. I mean, giant monster movies are always fun, and I of course I love watching Alien and all this stuff, and those will keep me up, but that's because I'm a coward,
Right.
and with too vivid an imagination when the lights go out. But honestly, yeah, anything that really kind of plays real with the real world in such a way that you're like, oh yeah, no, that's a thing I never wanted to have that thought about.
Yeah.
So
See, yeah, I'm kind of like in the same vein, yeah, with psychological horror, but also like I don't know how much of Stephen King it is really psychological horror, but when I saw that in theaters, oh my god, it scared the hell out of me. Like Oh my god,
Yeah.
it was so scary. So like, I don't know, maybe yeah, like I don't really have like any fear about like clowns or anything in particular. Like I don't know what it was. Like I think they just did really well with like angles and things in the background. Like that especially gets me when there's something in the background that like you really have to look at. Like Haunting at Hill House, perfect example. That show, perfect example. Same
Yes.
thing with Bly Manor. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it just has yeah like stuff in the background. It really makes you think. It like tries to like make you put things together, and I
Hmm.
really like that.
I'm glad you
For
brought that
this.
up. Yeah, Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor are like two of my favorite shows of all
Mm-hmm.
time. Not even just horror, but just favorite of all time
Oh
because
yeah.
like they're made so well. Um, and I know we're kind of breaking away from our topic here, but I don't care.
What's the topic? We're on Total
Yeah,
Party
what?
Recap.
Yeah,
Oh sure.
what is organization? No, like definitely my favorite is like the slow burn, suspense. The monster doesn't even need to be shown in the movie.
In my opinion, the less the monster's shown, the better.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Like the original Alien, where you don't even really see it.
yeah. I mean, last night I watched A Quiet Place for the 100th time,
Oh yeah.
and that's such a good like. Whenever you have a horror movie or even a horror based TTRPG, and they utilize elements like lighting or sound or um, specific themes within the actual um, story, stuff like that where it's very focused around, like for instance A Quiet Place is focused around the entire movie is pretty much silent, and whenever you hear sound it's so potent and vibrant that like even the most random sounds can scare the shit out of you during that movie. Like it's so good. um, but yes, I believe okay, I think that's good. Again, if you have any questions in chat, please feel free to
Any questions
like
about
put
like maybe
them
the
in.
system or the plot at all? Like I
Just
don't know, maybe
TPK
there's some of you
things.
that
Yeah, you
haven't seen
literally
Aliens.
you can ask me what I had for dinner last night. Do it, do it. You won't. But seriously, please ask questions because we'd love to hear from you. Next up, I believe, is Tomb of Annihilation. Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, we're doing. Yeah, surprise! I'm doing the next one too. Beyond the Undergrowth. It was such an entertaining episode. And this was the first episode that I have personally seen Cole's new character, Telteos, in, and it was absolutely a delight. I was not expecting, the costume and everything, but he went all out. It was fantastic. But yeah, so this episode was called "Atop the Plateau," and yeah, we found our adventurers recovering from a death, a funeral, and a scuffle with a frost giant. The previous episode, and that previous episode is also where they had just met their new friend Telteos, the very mysterious looking druid. Journeying onward, they traveled upon a very large plateau surrounded by ship-sized boulders. Like from the plateau, they see a ziggurat-like structure. Herman, in particular, notices what looks like a full-size galleon just stuck in a tree further off. Even creepier, they find some like, almost perfectly sun-bleached skulls just kind of around, and Telteos, in his mysterious nature, pockets a few of them. Uh, but coming up in the distance, they did notice some smoke rising from a hut nearby. They encountered this human woman just inhabiting the small clearing. She introduces herself as Nanny Poo Poo, which Tony did a fantastic voice on. If you ever get a chance to look back at that bot, please do. It's so good. And through conversation, they learn that she has lived around the plateau for probably about 80 years, but doesn't seem to recall what happened to the people in the ruins nearby at all. Um, Two of the player characters, Nethmissa and Johan, as well as two NPCs, Flack and River, accept soup from the crone, but seemingly don't have any ill effects from it quite yet. And at this point, honorable mention in this episode was the very first draw from the TPK deck of things. It was the glass cannon that was pulled and affected Johan. So essentially, you get to deal a lot of damage. I forget what exactly the extra damage is, but you're also vulnerable to a lot of damage. So it's a really interesting dynamic to have for a sorcerer. It was a good time. The group navigates over to the ziggurat, thinking that this would be the best place to start looking for this amulet they're looking for to bewitch an automaton. Nanny Poo Poo mentions a guardian from the ziggurat very vaguely and strikes a deal with them. For one scale from the guardian, she will give them what she calls a right of life. Yeah, very vague descriptions. Before leaving, Johan peeks into the old woman's hut, seemingly undetected, and finds a holy symbol, a skull with a sunburst inside of it, and Herman identifies that as the holy symbol of Cyric, I don't know how to pronounce that, but the god of lies, deception, and murder. So very mysterious figures that they are meeting as of late. That night, those who drank the soup start to feel the ill effects. So the two PCs, Nethrissa and Johan, managed to stave off any ill effects and actually gain permanent bonuses to their constitution scores. However, our two NPC friends don't fare as well. Flask entering almost a catatonic state in the process. However, everyone seems to be alive the next morning, so they continue on. Telltaeo's turning into a giant badger to make up the slowness of their now kind of encumbered friend. Suddenly, Nethrissa drops to the ground unconscious, and that's when the second ever deck of TPK things card was drawn, the Calamity card, which instantly brings a PC down to 0 hit points, but is stabilized. And in kind of a panicked response, Herman casts Divine Sense and is able to notice a few undead presences nearby. They are shambling towards the party and seem to be coming from the trees. They almost immediately identify themselves as these large, undead gorilla-like creatures with 4 arms called Girlon. I don't know how to pronounce that either. I think that's right. And they do battle. They learn that sometimes when you take them down, they come right back up. And yeah, spells are slung. Lots of damage is dealt. And our glass cannon, Johan, falls unconscious in the process. Tell invokes a healing spirit via song that we'll show in a clip later to stabilize Johan after he tries to attempt attacking Girlon in front of him. They manage to take down all of them, and Johan causes a magic surge in the process, summoning a unicorn that, oddly enough, bestows this strange pauldron upon him, and also heals the injured party members. He's kind of a bro, honestly. After taking a short rest, they make it to the ziggurat and face 3 different tests. One of which is just procuring a flower to get by, one is procuring a feather to get by, and grossly enough on the third one, they each have to ingest an entire snake to get up the third one. But they make it to the top and see a large green snake-like entity with a feminine humanoid face that notices them and greets them. And that is where they left off, episode 7.
Every time I'm like, okay, Tony's done all the terrible things to his players. It's okay now.
No.
just, what I get you sign up for that with a campaign like this, but
Nope, it's fine.
weird was it?
Hey everyone.
Oh.
My
Oh.
internet is fine. I didn't destroy my apartment for any poor reason. We were gonna watch a clip.
Yes, we were going to watch a clip. We were recapping Beyond the Undergrowth, and we do have a very special clip for you. Looks like we're actually doing pretty good on video there, Turk.
You know what? I say we play it right now. Let's not even think about it.
Let's not even talk. Don't talk. Don't talk. Just play. Don't
play.
Cantrip.
Yep.
And he says, "When I was a young boy, my father took me into the jungle to see some gorillas. He said, 'Son, when you grow up, would you be the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the damned?'" And you guys see a spirit call forth, and it trots over.
Yeah. So that was a thing that occurred in real life, and it was beautiful.
And it's immortalized. It will be here forever.
Yeah, no, funny story behind that clip. So we created the deck of TPK things for all of our GMs. It's a compendium of, it's a kind of a homebrewed deck of many things that we made 20 cards or so for our GMs. One of those cards, created by Osarax Franco, is titled "The Bard's Refrain." And if you haven't watched The Bard's Refrain yet, I highly recommend it. It is incredible. And it's all based off of music, and all of the sessions are based around a particular song or artist. And so the card she made was obviously based around that as well. And it forces all of the cast members to break out into song for a specified amount of time. So if you want to see that, definitely go check out some of the donation levels. But please, for the love of God, don't do that for TPR. Or do.
Yes.
Or do.
Bring it.
I mean, we got Sir Heck here. We'll just throw it over to you, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be
Just,
fine.
oh no, my mic isn't working.
Oh
gosh.
Is this stream? Oh no, it's just the internet, guys. Can't do it. Sorry. Oh, that's.
But the idea was fresh in our heads, and some of us were watching the stream together, and I believe it was Lukalok who said, "Hey, you know what? I really want Kohlrabi to sing this song for us in character." And so she donated some money and was like, "I need you to sing this now." And a little time went on, and we were like, "Oh, okay, he's not going to do it." And then he just busted that out, and oh gosh, we were so happy. We were so happy.
Dropping that, like, okay, cool, man.
But yeah, no, I really enjoy Tomb of Annihilation, and so I'm so happy that Tony Stevens in chat is running Beyond the Undergrowth. I think it's an incredible campaign, and definitely punishing to players, which, you know, outside of Curse of Strahd and some of the more popular one-shots out there, you know, you don't get campaigns that are necessarily designed specifically with creating fear in your players quite like those. So thank you to Tony for running that. We all love it. And if you haven't checked it out, it streams every other Tuesday. I believe it's going to be on this Tuesday. So, and I think Tony has something interesting prepared, something a little wacky for it. So if you're interested in watching that, definitely give that a view. Okay. Unless we have any questions in chat. Sorry.
So far,
No,
not seeing any
just Tony being angry at you.
Tony stiffens. Sorry.
I'll be honest, I didn't know it was Stefan's. I just read it as a bunch of
Oh,
letters
is it actually Stefan's?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tony. I've been saying your name wrong this entire time. You know what? I'll buy you a drink. It's fine. Okay. So unless we have anyone in chat that wants, except for Tony, who wants to ask us a question. Nope. Okay, cool. The next up is Monster Mash. Monster Mash, everyone. What a game that was. I GM'd Monster Mash. It was a thing of my own creation, completely 100% homebrewed, horror themed, one shot. Turk was a player in this particular one shot, and it turned out well, I think. The premise behind Monster Mash itself was sorry, Spotify just kind of picked up for a second there. The premise behind I don't know. The premise behind Monster Mash was I really wanted to create kind of a stress reliever for a lot of the GMs that we have who were, creating incredible content, or as we like to say, making dope shit. And so I kind of built it around like there's a term that some people may know in the TTRPG community, murder hobos. We like to say death drifters. So the whole thing is based around a group of death drifters who are going throughout the countryside and killing all of these innocent monsters and whatnot. And the Monstrous Council, this other ethereal, otherworldly being, decided to put a call out for a group of monsters to heed their call and slay this evil adventuring group. Among those monsters, we had a Grim Jester played by J.K. Madigan. We had a Elder Oblex or Ublex played by Tony Steffens. I got it right this time. We had a Master of Cruelties played by Proper Nerdy. We had a homebrewed imposter monster based off of Among Us that is very popular these days. That was played by Meg Mysteria. I created that monster for her, and I think she enjoyed it. And the last monster was played by Turk here, and he played a goose.
Untitled Goose.
The goose.
He played the goose. So what happened was, they heeded the call. They got to a kind of secluded area. They set up their plans. They set up a plan of attack and ambush, and then they laid in wait for this group of adventurers who came in, and they wrecked this group of adventurers just all over the place. And I do believe we have a clip of the final kill, or second to last kill at least,
We do.
that was so graciously provided to us, to my own chagrin, by Mr. Turk here. So
All right,
roll
let's
film.
let's give this a shot. We'll see if the internet gods will be generous to show your reaction to what happens here. I do feel bad about this, of course. Scare you, not for actually doing it, but over his body, I flap my wings victoriously, and give me a second here. So I just kind of like continue to bark, and just like,
Oh, your blood
the
pack just
lovely fucking come up and just blood all over my beak.
Turk has been excitedly waiting for this all night, I can just tell.
And you were right, Proper. I was waiting an entire night to bring out a blood pack just
How
for
many of
this
those do you
moment.
have?
An
Like,
undisclosed number. You can
okay.
buy them on Amazon surprisingly cheap, and they add a great factor, but should be known, they taste like hot garbage.
Ew.
Um, so I was like, it's Halloween. You gotta bring up the level of content, just to really get it to that level where we're like, all right, now it's time to, get people engrossed. Everyone's busting out costumes and doing all this theme stuff. I'm like, why not blood? But yeah, I played a goose, a murderous goose, a goose that will
A
end
murderous goose.
everything.
That couldn't cast power word stun for some reason.
Oh yeah, he could.
You know,
he could cast
honk.
Power Word Stun. And what did he do with Power Word Stun?
Look, all right. So to be fair, the team coordination was pretty low. We were thrown together the last second, kind of like a, like the U.S. men's basketball Olympic team. It's just all stars thrown together, and sometimes they mesh, but sometimes there's a little lack of communication on the court. Sometimes it's not gonna come out as good as you want. And yes, technically speaking, I did power word stun my own teammate, but I want this is a big but.
This is
We killed everyone anyway.
Yes, you did.
this is the same way he talks about those brownies. It's a story for later, but it is the exact same way he talks about it.
The internet told me olive oil was a perfectly good substitute, and the internet should be at fault here.
Okay,
And
okay.
you know what? I have made so many other good brownies. I will not have
Yes,
this.
but okay.
All right, back
okay,
on
hear
discussion.
me out. Hear me out. Oil can be substituted for one thing, but not multiple things.
I will not be here.
Turk.
I will. All right. Okay. Everyone's like, oh, we want brownies. So I'm like, two of us were like, oh, of course, we'll make brownies. Lo and behold, there's nothing in that kitchen. So we're like, all right, well, everyone's gonna be angry at us if we promise brownies and we don't deliver. So hey, you know what? First off, they weren't terrible. Anyway, Goose, I killed a man in that game.
Okay. Hey, can we get a honk real quick?
Oh yeah, it was really fun to do. I really had to do a lot of deep character study. There's a lot of geese around this reservoir I walked by, so yeah, I really got to check out and say the honk honk, that kind of stuff. It was very important to me that I get this as accurate to true life as possible. Really get the audience invested, which is of course
Yeah,
why you bring
the honking definitely
it was so
was
good.
something throughout the entire thing. Before we get into some of the questions, because we actually got
We
some
have
questions.
some great
We have some
questions in
questions.
chat. Like I'm just looking at them.
Before we get into the questions, I don't know if you were able to see my face in the clip there, but as a GM, I like to make sure that my players are very comfortable with everything that's going on and safe and enjoying everything. And so when I saw Turk start to suddenly bleed profusely from the mouth, I was very concerned and a little terrified because I didn't know about the blood packets. So
someone didn't watch Barnes of Frame.
I did, but I didn't.
Oh my God,
I didn't remember.
You didn't remember that I smeared my whole face in this shit.
Yeah, but I didn't see you do that, and so I just thought you at intermission put on face paint or something.
Oh no, yeah, no. Oh no, yeah, that's fair.
Oh
that's fair.
My God, it was terrifying. Okay, so starting off the questions from Luca Lock. Thank you, Luca. What was the most surprising moment of the 14 days of Halloween for everyone? I can confidently tell you that seeing Turk die on screen was my most surprising moment.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's fair. I think that I went for the shock value. You know what? Honestly, going into it, I figured everyone on stream would be like, okay, yeah, no, his mouth's bleeding. That's okay. Was not. I should have known. Should have known it was spooky as well. What are you gonna do?
Oh man.
I gotta say,
yeah,
mine was probably Cole just singing as this like very gruff voiced thing in a skeleton suit. I was not expecting that. And you know, like y'all have seen me play a bard at this point, like twice now. I've been in 2 1-shots as or the bard. Like, you know, I appreciated that. I was, yes. That is what we like to see.
Yeah, Cole and I are gonna have a deep gravelly voice off at some point because he's been holding out on me, man.
just play 2 characters that both have deep gravelly voices, but when they talk to each other, it's like, you know, when like some people talk faster to get higher pitched. You guys just keep going over there until you're just grumbling at each other, and then you can act like you had a full conversation.
Yeah, no, we just at the end it's just going to be us growling at each other and just.
Yeah, exactly. No, I honestly that was the most surprising for me as well because, you know, obviously the delay between when it was requested and when it happened, it led you to like, okay, well, they're ignoring it because they don't want to do it, and that's fine. I get it. Sometimes someone comes to the chat and throws out an idea of something that would be fun or something they want to see, or maybe they throw money at a screen and just like, you know, and the player's like, I don't really want to do that. But he did. He was just waiting for everyone to quiet down and you know, be like, all right, well, back to ambient watching, and there's like, oh no.
When I
was a young boy.
See, that was the most surprising moment for me is hearing Cole belt that out. Just his whole get up. Obviously it's early on in the week. We had, you know, we had Meg dressed up as Ripley, but like the mask, everything, he was keeping that under wraps.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
Meg, we knew coming in was gonna go full out because she is 100% Ripley.
Cole keeps his costumes, his secrets, and his selfies very close to chest.
Literally. Very close to chest.
Literally.
Doesn't get his face. It's just the top right shoulder. That's all you're getting. It's real sultry sometimes, but you know.
Okay. Chrissy, thank you for the question. Callie, 0324 in chat. Most scary moment in 14 days. Well, again, Turk bleeding profusely from the mouth. 100%.
I am so sorry to have caused so much anxiety, but I'm also so happy to have caused so much anxiety.
Also, probably the most unsettling moment of this time period, not necessarily 14 days content, but the most unsettling Halloween-ish content for me was watching one of our GM's DMF Saint play Giraffe Town over on his channel.
Yeah, it was so creepy. Okay, if any of you were on that stream, oh my god. It's such a creepy game. Like, not even like, you know, fear of giraffes or anything. It just like, I don't know how to describe it. It was just, everything about it was just very unsettling.
Yeah.
All right. Scariest moment, and this is kind of looking forward to something I'm sure we're all gonna discuss was Harper's finale, and just like casually taking a peek over it. What's everyone's health at right now? Oh
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Like,
seriously,
there's some
the fact that no one died. Oh, okay. Well, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. No spoilers yet, but like just that casual glance over the side, and like,
oh my gosh,
I'm already high strung going into that. Gosh. Just like the heart palpitations.
Yeah.
I experienced in that moment. I'm pretty sure my Fitbit thought I was sprinting. It's like, hey, you know, it's 11, right? You might want to get some sleep. It's like, no, I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll take this next question, also from Luca. Oh wait, go.
Yeah, the scariest moment for me, like we're gonna talk about Electric Bastion Lands next, so I'll just go into like that was when we were facing the last thing. And almost all of us died because, like, you know, it's a different system. It's like if you go down, it is not a kind system at all. So, oh my god, like I was seriously, I thought we were all gonna die at like the very last thing. Like, man, like we were so close to making it, but you know, we did. But it was a scary couple of minutes. Oh my god.
Seriously, yeah. I was fortunate enough to have enough free time to watch that entire thing, and I was clipping like a madman throughout it. It was good. That was a good one
Oh,
shot.
man.
I'm very thankful that it was JK's one shot. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm very thankful that JK put that on. But we'll talk about that next. Another question from Luca. Who was the most terrifying monster? I'm assuming talking about Monster Mash. So I'll take that one because I feel like it was directed towards me for some reason. Yeah, like I'm sure everyone wants me to say the goose, and to be completely honest, the goose for sure. But as a GM, the scariest monster was definitely JK's Grim Jester because
Tomo Beast,
there,
man.
there was a lot of stuff that the Grim Jester could do, like that really wasn't talked about a ton. Like for instance, in a certain radius, and this is how the first adventure went down. In a certain radius, all healing that is given gets turned to damage, which is not okay. And then, like, one of the other things it can do is it imposes disadvantage on all death saves. Who, so it was like running an adventuring party with, all heals went to damage and pretty much every stack thing against them possible. Just going through the list again here. Chrissy, yeah, we want to see more of everything one shot wise, like everything that we had in 14 Days of Halloween. We want to see more.
It's one of those perfect scenarios where everyone walked in with a one shot and is coming out of this being like, yeah, we can keep this going. We can keep
Yeah,
this going
let's
for the
just,
long time.
let's make a campaign. Let's have some more one-offs with the same ragtag group of kids.
Or like I feel like everything, unless not spoiling stuff, but like everyone coming in with these one shot ideas, all one shots naturally kind of tend to leave off, into bigger adventures. Is kind of how they're usually built. But like everyone was kicking ass this last 2 weeks, just with the work they put in and it just like the quality of everything. It was amazing to watch, and yeah, as someone who played and as someone who was in the audience watching, I want more. Why isn't there more? Can we have more now? Why isn't it happening now?
Hey, you know what? Hey, and this goes out to everyone in the chat too. If you're interested in joining TPK and being a player, I think Streamlabs actually linked the Discord and chat like a few minutes ago. So go check that out. And we're always looking to bring on more active people and more active players. There we go. So yeah, if you want more content, you can be in content. I mean, just
you don't even have to play to be part of the Discord. You can just hang out with us. Like we love to hang out with people.
We're fun.
Please do.
Sometimes.
We're fun. We're fun. I was gonna make a joke, but we're pretty fun. We're pretty great. So yeah, I think that's yes, Al. That is the TPK guarantee. We are fun people.
Yeah. No, I think
you will have fun with us.
You will have fun with us.
Fun is mandatory.
But yeah, moving on to whatever we have next. I believe Electric Bastion.
Yes.
Electric Bastion Lands.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta say, out of the I can't say this one.
Don't give it any superlatives.
My one favorite one to play with, because I really liked the Harper one shot that I was in too. So I think those are like neck and neck right there. They're just like, they're great for different reasons, but they're still both fantastic. But anyway, yes, our long night in the Booth House, Electric Bastion Lands system that we played took place in a small town, USA, no name, just familiar, relatable enough to really draw any viewers in. We meet a group of 4 ragtag teenagers, seniors in high school. Jack, the jock type.
Jock.
What about Hunter?
Keep rolling. Keep rolling. I just have
Yeah,
comments.
yeah. Oh, he's just being Jack. Sorry. Chuck, played by Oscar X Franco, the more like outsider kind of type. There's Dev playing kind of the stoner type, Willie, and then myself playing Victoria, the kind of, well, I was just playing her just kind of the weird person, then she kind of ended up turning into a horse girl. That's just how the RP happened. Sorry. But we cut to them walking from school to check out the booth house. It's this supposedly haunted house that every couple of nights you see a light go off in one of the upstairs rooms, even though no one has lived in that house for years upon years. Tons of rumors surrounding it about what happened, like Booth, the writer, like murdering his family, hiding them in the vaults, really kind of weird stuff. One rumor includes a witch, but Victoria wanted to check out this house because apparently these events, one thread stays the same, is that whatever event happened on Halloween. So it is Halloween. She wants to check it out. So they pretty much break and enter into the house. A window is broken. We crawl into the house, and we're just checking out all these old dust covered things. Lots of just antique looking furniture. Just a very interesting old house that has not been disturbed for years upon years. They look through the kitchen. They go up the stairs to the room where the light supposedly goes on and off, and they find a couple curious items. They find a journal, a painting of a young woman, and a gun, an old pistol that Victoria just kind of pockets. How she is. I can't really speak to a lot of it. It's just what she wanted to do. But Chuck falls through the floor suddenly, and at the same time, the group hears a knock at the front door of a policeman, seeing that there's some type of strange activity happening around the house and needs to catch anyone trespassing if they are. So the group hides, and here's the footsteps going up the stairs, and continues to hide because they then hear heavy footsteps walking around the kitchen, and Victoria notices that they're not quite the same. So they kind of form a plan to just bust out, guns a-blazing, quite literally, if there's anyone that's there to hurt them, and then just run out. They burst out, and nobody is there. They look outside, and they're oddly not in the same place that the house used to be. There's these strange cornfields around instead of the usual suburb that this place is surrounded by. Victoria at least goes over to the steps to look at like any person that might be around, and sees a very large man with a weapon. So they run out into the fields. Chuck falls behind, and a scarecrow that she runs into comes to life. They hide in the barn very quickly, and just kind of prepare for the now sentient scarecrow that's about to bust in. Unfortunately, they could not all get up the ladder into the loft before he busts through the door. Victoria, being the last one, strikes a match and just hopes to God it's gonna fall onto the scarecrow, which it does, and is set aflame and perishes, essentially. They stomp it out, and kind of regroup, figure out what they're going to do next. They look into the journal that Chuck found and see that there are screenplay like transcripts within the journal, and at the very end are just a list of just different monsters, all kinds of things, but all but 3 are crossed out. There's, these notes saying like not scary enough, like too tame, that kind of thing, except for 3, which was Scarecrow, the Clown, and the Slasher. So the group surmises that, they've already seen a Scarecrow, and we're thinking the man with the shiv-like implement is the Slasher. Haven't seen a Clown yet, but now we're on the lookout for that. And they surmise that they have to face each of these things or defeat each of these things to get out of this strange alternate dimension that they've been a part of. They make their way over to the Harvest Festival after meeting the same lady from the painting and retrieving a key. And they find where the Clown most likely is. Name, Choppy the Clown. They make a plan to overtake Choppy, but it kind of backfires through a series of poor rolls. It happens, and as I said before, this game is not exactly kind when things go awry, but Choppy the Clown abducts Chuck, and the group pursues. Combat is had, including a gun misfiring in Victoria's hand. But after a couple of rounds of combat and nobody dying, they're able to overtake Choppy the Clown. He gives a very chilling message of, we just had to burn the book to get out of whatever this was, but teenagers don't believe him. They just try to kill them, so they don't do that. They instead go up these stairs that they believe connects to the house, as all of these 3 places have been connected somehow. And right at the top of the stairs in the door, as soon as they open it, to meet them is the Slasher. More combat is had. Again, there were some heavy hits dealt. 2 of the people were down, dying actually, and they somehow overtake the Slasher, and the alternate dimension reverts back into where they usually were. They make it back home, or going to the hospital for severe wounds first, and nobody quite believes what happened. They believe that there was some type of serial killer maybe in that booth house, but the group really knows what happened, and that was pretty much where we left it.
Oh my god.
Also, there was top tier banter between Sarah and Turk. I'm going to say that out the gate.
Yeah. It was a joy to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed the story. I thoroughly enjoyed all of the characters. The banter between Turk and Sarah was just so on point. You could feel the teenage angst just through the screen. Dev played an incredible character. We talked about it after one of the other one shots we're going to talk about. And he was a little kind of thrown off by the energy that Turk and Sarah created in the studio that night. And so he was like, okay, I just need to let's just do one-liners. Yeah, that's great.
It was so perfect, though.
Forgive me if I butchered that, Dev, but I have a test tomorrow, or whatever you said.
That's what we clipped.
Damn it! Damn it!
Bad take for this one.
And before we go further, let's just roll that clip. Let's roll that tape.
So good.
This
so
is
good.
Dev being amazing.
She's gonna grab the rope and chuck it at Jack and be like, just fucking fix it.
What the fuck do you mean? For your fucking knee or what?
No, the door, dipshit. You can scout your way through this, you piece of shit. Let's do this.
Fucking hell. Alright.
I have a math test tomorrow.
Fuck your math test.
Please,
And I'm gonna
don't
go start
cry.
rolling the rope around.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
Too good. Too good. So good.
I feel like that clip pretty much captured the energy of that whole adventure. Just two people shouting at each other and everyone else trying to survive.
Yeah, no, I was floored by all of your characters, and I wish I had been in it, but I definitely think that the energy of the entire one shot would have been completely different. I think it was so good and just great content. And one thing that if you weren't there at the end of the stream or you haven't seen it at all, you might not know, is that the one shot is based off of a film that JK co-created, if I'm remembering correctly.
That's entirely accurate.
What's the name of the film? Do you guys remember?
Live Inside Us.
They Live Inside Us. Yeah.
I have yet to watch it. I was gonna watch it last night, but I got busy, so maybe tonight.
Yeah, no, just so awesome that you were able to take that idea and create it, and then make a film out of it, and then also adapt it to a TTRPG setting. So hats off to you, JK. Hats off to you. It was so well received by the TPK community. And you know what? That should have been the movie we watched on Friday.
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately, we were limited by the technology of our time.
Yeah, but also, Little Shop of Horrors 1960s. We weren't expecting it, but I'm very glad we watched it.
Yeah. So actually, that brings up a good point. Before we move any further, there were a few events for 14 Days of Halloween that we are not covering for reasons or another. And one of those was the movie night. And I'm sorry, Cole, but I don't think we can show clips or anything for that, but we can always talk about the shenanigans. And apparently, heck, you said you were talking about you're kind of chatting throughout the night with Purple Phil, right?
Yeah, just making references to the movie because, again, this movie was a fever dream. You don't understand. There were so many things that just weren't explained. Towards the end, when the guy that is feeding people to these plants is running from the authorities, there was just this random stampede of kids that came out of nowhere and were just running for a couple of frames. We're like, what does that have to do with anything? What is this? And he was just I guess they were running through a junkyard or something, but there was a prolonged amount of time that they were just climbing on these giant tires or something. There were just so many tires, and we were what is this? It was so funny though. I had a really good time watching it. Yeah, we were making references to just some of the lines that they said during Murder on the Everon Express because it was just applicable somehow.
Yeah. So, because we don't have any questions in the chat relating to this, I do have a question for the two of you. What was some of the preparation you guys, because of just how incredible Electric Bastion Lands was, and how fleshed out the characters seemed to be? What was some of the preparation you guys had for that session?
May I jump in just because I have so basically, because it's a new system, of course we wanted to have a session 0, just kind of get into it, what does any of this mean when I tell you to roll a strength check, because it is different than D&D or really anything else. So we set up a time, and I think we were getting off a weekend. I think it was, it must have been after Harper season 1. So my sleep schedule was just garbage that entire week. And I remember, all right, I'm gonna take a quick nap and then get up and be on this call. So I joined 45 minutes late. Thankfully, everyone was still on, willing to explain everything. But we kind of just rolled in with everyone had different ideas. I feel like we all were like in the Discord beforehand, even that being like, okay, you're all high school kids in like a very generic town. How do we all be generic? Like, what's the generic horror movie role? Um, and After that, after we had the session, I just randomly was like, "Hey, here's my idea for what based off of what we rolled, really. Like we had no idea. We had vague ideas of where we wanted to put our stats, but like after we rolled, so my character was like 16 strength, 12 dexterity, 9 charisma, and 1 HP. And like HP is like how much damage you can take during a scene before you start basically nearly dying. So I'm like, damn, my jog is super not okay health wise. So I kind of was just like, all right, so he's clearly injured or some shit. Because I came up with the idea of like, well, what if he was part of this group but then left it? That was literally all I had before rolling. And then afterward, I was like, okay, so he got into. I just like posted my idea to the Discord, being like, hey, here's my character's general background. Everyone just started, you know, interweaving from there. Um, my character was in a car accident and but like left the group in at the start of high school because he joined the football team rather than all this other stuff. And everyone's vibing, just like what they were doing beforehand. Everyone's interlocking stories and working together. We were all just like, yeah, sure. And then basically, in regards to the actual background of the town, JK was like, "All right, you guys are gonna have like a few minutes to gossip before we get into it and kind of build the world." And we were just kind of like, "Hey, here's some ideas." Like I want to say like a few days before this, like here's some ideas of some cool things. I think just like things that are occurring in this tiny small town. Like there's a kegger going on and we're missing it. There's you know, a bunch of other stuff. Like our football team is not great anymore, but they used to be. It's just little random facts that I think everyone kind of could play off of as characters and reference at random points. And there's even points in the story where like someone will just say something about your character's past, and everyone's kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if it was similar for you, Sir Heck, but like
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like we did a really good job just like not only playing off of the stats that we got because we had no idea, like we had the trope first, then the stats, and then like we played off of each other, and the way that we played off of each other just really impressed me. Like yeah, it was so fun to do. But yeah, like we did not roll well on stats, you guys. In fact,
I'm not sure it's possible to roll well.
JK had to give us one of us a reroll on HP because we all rolled so bad. Like we wouldn't have lived.
You got a
like
reroll?
we had one of us,
Oh,
not
okay.
like out of the three, one of us, and it was me, and I rolled that 4.
Which served you so well.
Like yeah, I tanked so much. Like I'm never the tank, and I tanked for that party. Like don't even. Oh my gosh, but I mean, it kind of made sense. Like yeah, she was like a very like bullied person, so she had to be tough. Like she grew up on a farm. Like you have to be tough to be able to take a hit. So she was like, oh, "Let's go, let's do this."
Meanwhile, I'm like, let me put all these points in the stats, and like, then I'm like, okay, I guess he still is really terribly hurt from all this, and like, is obviously, like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, he's definitely still got a concussion. Like, his legs is still like not great. He still has the cast on, which did play into a little bit at the beginning and throughout, just kind of like a thing I had to deal with of like, yeah, your character really only has one effective hand. Um, and just like it kind of worked from there. Like, why is my character still so goddamn weak? And it's just it was playing with the stats that you rolled up, unless you got to re-roll your health. Not salty about that because it worked, but like, goddamn.
Yeah, but like I will say, yeah, like I think the balance was perfect because you had a good enough strength stat. Like my stats, I also rolled horrible one. Like my highest stat was a 10. Like I had a 6 strength, a 10 charisma, and a 9 dex. So like
Which, to be fair, in system, is still like gives you a 50% chance of success.
yeah, but well, not for strength, especially
yeah.
after I took that large hit at the very end. I ended up having to roll under a 4, which just never happens. So, like, yeah, I did not roll under a 4. I rolled like a 16 that time or something. So it was not fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think our stats worked out. Like, yeah, you had a high strength at least, so like you would still be okay after taking a hit. But like if I went past my
several
hit points, like I would have been toast. Like, oof.
Yeah. And just a quote from JK, who was the GM for this one shot. He says, "It was important to me that y'all felt connected to the town, so I really didn't plan much beyond the actual story setting. Everything you guys built, the whole town and all the relationships, was entirely the players, which was so cool." And so he obviously appreciates all of that, and I'm sure you guys had a lot of fun kind of creating all of that too, which I think is really cool in non D&D 5e based settings. Like for instance, one that we don't have in this particular lineup, but we'll have in future episodes, is Roundhouse White Bridge, and I believe we're going to be covering Roundhouse Godswallow as well. I think I talked to Saint about that. It's Monster of the Week, and so Saint, DMF Saint, who is the GM we mentioned earlier, who scared me with giraffes. He basically enables us to pretty much say whatever we want, and that kind of is the rule of cool, fun. It could get us into trouble at some point, but the world building is pretty much all on the players, and I really enjoy systems that do that. However, moving on. Next up, we have Murder and Coffee GM chat. This was the first installment of our new show, Murder and Coffee, which is another talk show that is hosted by myself and Osara X Franco, who is incredible. And we had on Luca Locke and Cole Bobby. Cole Ravi. Sorry, it's just it's just a joke.
Cole Bobby.
But we talked about horror themes and tropes and TTRPG settings, and it was a blast. I think I know Turk was there watching.
Oh yeah.
Or at least I think. Heck, were you able to catch that episode?
No, oh my god, I was feeling so bad
Oh,
that day.
no, it's
I
fine.
don't know what happened.
How dare you be sick? There is content.
We have content to watch.
I know. I felt so bad. I was like, man, I gotta take a shower. Like, I got somehow, like, yeah. I think, like, wait, what day was it on?
Saturday.
That was the 24th, Saturday.
I don't think I had anything for Sunday. I don't know. Like,
It was also really early. Like, Murder and Coffee is a morning show, everyone. So if you're not a morning person,
there was a possibility that I was going to join a Pathfinder game. That just wasn't going to happen.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
No. No, Murder and Coffee was incredible. It was really fun to talk about horror things. We had a lot of questions from the audience, which we answered pretty much all of them. I think we answered all of them actually. But it was cool because Luca and Sarah are not as in tune with horror as Cole and I are. Cole and I are kind of the horror aficionados. At least we like to think we are. And so having that kind of that juxtaposition between two people who know a lot about the theme and the genre, and two people who are less informed about certain horror things, or maybe a little too scared to watch horror themes, was very interesting to talk about. One of the things we did talk about. Wait, do we have a clip for this?
We do not have Murder and Coffee clips.
Okay,
apologize.
that's fine.
Someone
That's fine.
didn't send me any Murder and Coffee clips.
I wonder who that could have been.
I don't know. You know what? My internet's apparently not very good. Maybe it just never came. I can go check if you want.
That's fine. Hey, you know what?
Just
It's
play
totally
the entire
fine.
mod.
Hey,
Easy.
all of you intrepid viewers out there, Murder and Coffee is anywhere between 1 to 2 hours long, so it's a little more digestible than some of the 7-hour streams that we put on this channel. It'll be Murder and Coffee. I'm limiting to 1 to 2 hours. This first one was 2 hours exactly. So if you want to even just go listen to it, it's going to be a lot of good content. This show, and I don't know if I've said this yet, Total Party Recap is also going to be around 2 hours each week. Obviously, this one's going to be a bit longer because we have a lot of content to cover with 14 Days of Halloween. It's probably going to run 3.5 or so, I think. But yeah, go check out Murder and Coffee. The next one is going to be on November 14th, if my brain remembers correctly. Yes, November 14th. And we will be bringing on Zeke Gonzalez, who is an incredible TTRPG creator in the TTRPG community. Not entirely sure what we're going to be talking about just yet, but we're at least going to talk about his content that he creates, some of which have like one-shots and such have been on display here at TPK. So it's going to be really fun. Come check that out. It's so far it's every second and fourth Saturday early in the morning. So come check that out. Moving on, unless did I miss something in chat here? I just saw like a sudden influx of messages.
Just you don't have to read those. It's fine. I wasn't blaming you for anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I will remember that. Moving on.
Moving on to our Sunday. There was this really fun Sherlock Investigations, which I will say right now, I got to secretly sit in on. It was great. I got to play Sherlock. I'll just start from the beginning. Basically, this is the setting is Gothic Earth. It is D&D, but not in a lot of ways thematically, but also it's London, it's England, it's our world with D&D brought in. What if orcs and elves and goblins and ghouls actually existed, in Victorian and industrial era London, with all these crazy murders and everything. Just a lot. It's a wonderfully fun setting. It's a setting we've explored before on TBK. This one was the Case of the Bloated Man, run by our wonderful Kohlrabi, whatever you want to call him. It saw 4 newcomers to the city, each with their own paranormal or investigative past, be summoned by an unknown benefactor. Little did they know this was both an aid into investigation, but also a audition of sorts. As they all arrived, who should show up but Sherlock Holmes himself, which is me, which is really fun because I got to sit and be lying to people's face for 30 minutes in the call. How I'm just an NPC. Don't worry about me. I'm not anyone special. I am just here to give you guys a little quest info in the market, and then you'll be on your way. And then I video captured my chair turn. I was very happy with it, and I got to talk in a British accent all night, which is always fun. I think we could all enjoy doing that. After being Sherlock and getting all their X's and O's crossed with introductions, the group proceeded into the market, and we're investigating cases or sightings of a large bloated man, true to the name of the case, that was running through and smashing carts and market stalls and causing a lot of trouble at night, but no one could tell where he was. So our group, did what investigators do. They head out, they asked questions, they found clues, they investigated, and they came to a terrifying, horrifying, body horror-esque conclusion. And I kind of don't want to give it away, but the bloated man was disgusting and terrible, and I hated it, and I wanted to die. But then I didn't. But then I did again. But then I didn't for a little bit. But then I did
The words
again.
of Tony, gross and bad.
It was indeed gross and bad. There's no or. So basically the group solved the case. With some jolly cooperation and no little assistance from a young Sherlock Holmes, but that's just me tooting my own horn. And afterward, they were invited to the Victorian Paranormal Society, which is now going to be a new rotating one-shot here at TPK, which is super exciting to know about and super stressful to have to keep quiet and not say anything about. So I'm really relieved, both that we were able to pull off, a successful investigative mystery, but also that I don't have to lie to people's faces and say, "Oh no, I'm just a little busy Sunday with some personal stuff." Man, I was like, Cole came out of the woodwork and was just like, "Hey, what are you doing on Sunday? Do you want like this is at, like the beginning of October, I think even before." He's like, "Hey, are you free on this date?" I'm like, "That's real far out, but I could certainly be if you tell me you want something." He's like, "Yeah, I want you to play Sherlock Holmes." I'm like, "That's not intimidating at all. That's you're just playing Sherlock Holmes. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine." His belief in me continues to surprise me, and I feel it is unearned. But I am always happy to play more D&D, especially in this setting. It's super fun to play. And we have there's gonna be some fantastic things coming out for him. I am absolutely certain. Unfortunately, I know for a fact all the spots in his games went like hotcakes. But did you get in one?
No. Sorry. Like there's so much content that I'm already in. I can't.
No.
put myself in that.
100% understand.
But I would like to nominate Al the Biffer for Moriarty whenever that comes up.
You know what? You're 100%
Yes.
up with Cole. It's
Voluntold.
amazing.
There's not even a question.
You did a good job setting up your one shot. If afterward everyone's not only asking for it to continue, but you have a plan to continue, and everyone's like, "Yeah, I want to be this thing. I have a plan for my character, and it's gonna work great within your world because I paid attention and I understood it and I want in. Like, here's my resume. Here's my firstborn. If you need that, it's optional, I guess, but like, I want to make a statement. Stuff like that. It was a fantastically fun one shot with some really spooky vibes. Cole knows how to deliver the horror. I should have known after watching Murder and Coffee. I should have been more prepared.
Yeah, man.
Chat's agreeing. I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but Al needs to be Moriarty.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Al, you've already been cast.
Sorry, bud. You're the villain now.
There is no option. You will have fun here.
Go talk to Cole. Get in those DMs right now. But yeah, that is how good this one shot was. And to give a quick shout out to Callie and Chrissy in the chat. This next clip's for you because it's about you, and it's how we sent off the bloated man, which I felt, it may not capture the energy of the entire session overall, but I felt it was really freaking fun moment that also was just really fun to be a part of, and kind of just like everyone vibing. Anyway, I'm gonna do this while the internet's good.
Whoa, man.
All right. Yeah,
The sequel. Part 2.
You react fast enough, and like two of them fly out towards you, and you just stomp with right foot, left foot. And what heroic thing do you say as you stomp them?
Ah, fuck.
There we go.
Put it on a t-shirt. Yeah. So it was terrifying. That whole session was just like, especially at the end, was like, oh, okay, this is how I die. And I'm going to feel really bad because Sherlock Holmes is going to die in the first session of Sherlock Investigations. And then I'm going to have nightmares about it afterward. And it's like a bad combination of just like just a lot of negative emotion there. But thankfully, Chrissy came in and saved the day. And it was gross. And we won. And I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. Fuck. I don't think anyone else has that t-shirt.
It was so fun. It was just I appreciated it. I clipped it almost immediately after it happened. It's like, hey, you guys gotta look at this.
Go.
No, go ahead.
No, it was just one of those sessions where everybody worked so well together in like setting up their own characters and play like the challenge for me was like how do I be Sherlock but also let people do their thing, and I'm so glad that everyone jumped on and like took the spotlight and were like, this is my character, fuck the title, it's Phil Investigations now. And I'm like, yes, good. It was so great. And I mean the cast was excellent, everyone was super into it. I mean, we all had costumes for a second, but it got a little hot for some people. But oh my god, it was just a great energy to be around everybody, and just like fantastic game.
Yeah, I personally am drawn to this. Sherlock Holmes is one of my favorite characters in fiction of all time. I love everything Sherlock Holmes. Like, I think the first time I really got into it was the first Sherlock Holmes Robert Downey Jr. movie. I had read some Sherlock before then, but that kind of the energy that I experienced from that movie, and just being able to go back and read some of the stories and kind of inputting that energy into the stories as well was just fantastic to me. And I can confidently say, Turk, that you play just as good as Sherlock Holmes as Robert Downey Jr.
No, stop.
We won't. No. We'll never stop.
No, anyway.
Let us love you.
Look, I 100% agree with Sherlock. In case people couldn't tell based on all the characters I have really ever played, I really like Inquisitive Rogues because they're like Sherlock Holmes. And I just really like solving mysteries, and I blame Sherlock Holmes for that. So yeah, getting to actually play him, and oh yeah, another great thing is just like the setting itself was so immense. It you didn't need like a whole book to get across the vibe of this setting you were in. There was magic, but it's kind of taboo. You don't see people going around like casting prestidigitation to clean off their clothes. There's a lot of normal people, and they don't like magic because magic is weird, which I think is like very fair. Like if it's our world, it's a world of D&D with real world repercussions for their actions. And that did create a lot of tension filled moments where you're like, all right, how do I cast this spell but also not have people like throwing stones at me? Which
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the Dishonored video game series.
Yes, 100% that. Yeah. Another thing I hope no one figures out I enjoy, because they're going to see a lot of those characters that I play and I steal from them.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the next one, we have Abandon All Hope Part 2.
Oh boy, you guys. This episode was crazy. Like, I'm going to try to get through as much information to still make it make sense, but oh my god, was it a wild ride? Oh my lord. So we return to our group recovering from absolute chaos. If you remember from our last recap, the alien had just escaped. It was, the big scene where the chest burster comes out and everybody's freaking out. So they're still recovering from that. After gaining composure, Siggs begins to take more samples of whatever was left from this alien that just disintegrated through the floor. Hirsch reconvened with the family that was still on board that brought the abomination over there, and McClure stalls the inevitable lockdown of the colony and overtaking of the colony by Reynolds, who assumes pretty much absolute control of the base. A few technicians return to the vehicle bay, like carrying all these like strange containers of some sort. Another victim with the same type of alien fixed to his face is brought in, and Siggs also has a heated conversation with Kaminsky, also kind of a higher up, about responsibilities as well as the events of the day prior, reporting things that happened the last day especially. After some more heated conversation between McClure and Reynolds, there's definitely like this petty battle going on. If there's too much to clip, but if you get the chance to watch that VOD, it's hilarious. You definitely need to go watch it. Niffer was incredible as McClure. But Reynolds sends Hannah Singleton and McClure down to the mess housing to address some strange complaints about loud noises coming from the vents, and they find out once they go down there that people have gone missing. And once they're down there, they notice that there is a strange clanking that isn't quite the same hum or constant hum of machinery. McClure suggests that the colonists stay together in the meantime while they go and investigate one of the rooms that a person has gone missing from. They go in, and there are signs of forced entry from the vents. There are blood stains and handprints and drag prints and stuff you don't want to see after an alien has gotten loose in the base. So they immediately go and tell Reynolds that, and also take a look at the mainframe. They notice that in the reactor room, there's an odd collection of people's tracking devices, signals from those tracking devices, just kind of huddled around the reactor. So they bring Reynolds and pick up Siggs on the way to check that out. Once they get there, they note a strange calcified substance around the room that only grows more prevalent as they go down towards the exhaust vents. Unable to see anything, they tried their best to push forward, but suddenly a set of large alien hands just comes out of the mist and yoinks Reynolds. They hear a terrified scream and then this angry shriek. I really like the hand gestures going on right now. Angry shriek as the group runs away. However, they fail to escape completely as the alien figure reveals itself. The long, bulbous head, multiple jaws. Like if you've seen the movie, you know it's the classic. McClure takes a shot at it, but freezes in fear after the shot misses. Siggs manages to take it down temporarily, or make it back down a little bit. But the stress of the situation causes Singleton to just enter this panicked rampage, just attacking another alien that was encroaching on them in the process. However, they managed to dispatch the one that was in their path and safely get away from the couple that were beginning to also approach. They arrive at the landing bay and note that their shuttle is dismantled, but Reynolds' shuttle is together but locked down. They surmise that in order to operate this shuttle, they need keys. Kaminsky still has keys, but retrieving Reynolds' keys may not be super possible at this point. They find that they're only able to communicate with Kaminsky via earpiece as a mysterious power outage occurs throughout the base. So the group makes a plan. They decide that they should go to the generator to restore that power so they can open doors and everything. They convene with the people in the med lab to get the keys, and lastly, get the shuttle to get the hell out of there. They travel in the dark, silent halls towards the generator, and while not like huge issues happened in that process, it was so unsettling to watch because like anything could come out of the dark. You don't know. Like even though nothing happened, I was on edge the entire time. The nerves are starting to get to them, but they decide to just book into the med lab. As they attempt to open the first door, they begin to hear the same alien shrieking that they did in the reactor room. The queer screams and alerts everyone in the sector of their presence. So they immediately try to hide, kind of stay put, and then just de-stress for a couple months because they had built up, like, I forget who it was. I think Singleton at this point had like 10 stress die. Like it was far too many. So they attempt to open the door and succeed in the nick of time this time as an alien is heard passing by, but doesn't seem to notice them. They round the corner though and directly encounter another alien that does notice them. Singleton shoots it, but it's still standing as they try to make it through another door into the medical office. The alien grabs Singleton, causing her to freeze in fear after her struggling proves futile. However, Siggs is able to pull Singleton from the alien's claws. The alien doesn't regain that grapple, but does manage to bite Singleton with its inner jaws, which is a terrifying mental image if you think about it. She takes another shot at it and finally brings it down. As Siggs opens the door to the med lab, Singleton and the queer investigate the armory, so they were able to get some pretty cool guns, pump action rifle and a magnum revolver. So yes, they were ready for the next mad dash. They find Kaminsky currently trapped in quarantine, desperately trying to open the door but unable to do so. As they hear shrieking getting closer and closer, they finally are able to open the door and make a mad dash for the landing bay where the shuttle is. They're able to get the shuttle up and running and then make their escape. They're on the shuttle, they're flying, they're ready to just nuke it from orbit, as the saying goes. But all of a sudden, Singleton turns on the rest of the group, claiming they know too much. She goes to pull out her rifle, but McQueer and Siggs return fire almost immediately. And a rush of adrenaline, Siggs just offs Singleton, and a coup de grace, the game puts it. In the silent moments after this conflict, the shuttle's navigation notifies them that the course is set for LV-23. We thought we were out of the woods, but as the two remaining crew members sit there for a second longer, Kaminsky starts to convulse, just like the patient Zero did at the very beginning of all of this. The crew members are, they have to eject Kaminsky, and she tells them to do so, and they are left alone in space in a shuttle they don't know how to pilot. The queer makes the final report, makes the last sign off. As they land on their supposed sanctuary, they notice not only a lush, overgrown forest on this planetoid, but also wreckage and monoliths that are overtaken by nature for a long time. They see a single ship with the name Prometheus written on the hull. And that is where they left off that two-shot.
Oh man, you talk about stuff. You talk about one shots that I want more of.
Yeah, I want to see them get off the planetoid now. Like it was a wild ride. Like I'll be honest with you guys, I was really tired that night and I fell asleep too early. Like I missed the last 40 minutes, and that is where all the crazy shit happened. I was like, what? Like I thought this was the ending, but no, there's a surprise. Like, this is the ending. No, there's more, and it's so wild.
So good, so good. I mean, and I think one of the coolest things was, you know, a lot of as we get further and further down the line and progressing through the weeks into the 14 days, more and more costumes were worn. and Meg's Ripley costume
my God.
So
was
good.
just
So good.
amazing.
That was the best way to kick off 14 days. And yeah, the fact that she continued it to the next section, oh, I loved it. It was my favorite.
So good.
So good.
But yeah, no, I love alien movies. Prometheus, the movie. I'm glad it was left off on that note because the movie Prometheus is just so good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I know.
Please do. Oh my
Okay, so this is one thing that Cole and I disagree on is some horror movies, and Prometheus is one that he doesn't like, and I do. So everyone should go watch the movie, watch the stream, and tell us which one of us is right. Who's got the right idea? It's me, I know. But what clip do we have for this?
Well,
We have
no, that's the title. That's
twist number 1.
the title is Well.
Well,
So here we go.
Back and breathe.
Well.
Well.
Don't do that. Are you about to say you have an alien? No, but y'all know too much. I'm sorry.
No!
I'm gonna take out my
No!
I'm doing it.
No!
And I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
We thought we were in the clear. Like, they did. I mean, I was on board with them, even though I wasn't playing. I was like, oh yeah, like, they did it. Oh my gosh, like, And then I look at the timestamp and I'm like, why are there like 30 minutes left? What happened? And then that happened. I was like, oh god.
oh man,
I'll
yeah,
tell you
no,
what happened.
So a lot of my one shots that I run are very story oriented. Monster Mash, not as much, because it was more of a, or at least not in my mind, it wasn't as much.
Everything I did was thematically in character, and I'll send you my 3-page backstory.
Okay, no, that's totally fine, totally fine. I was talking more about what I did, but
right, well.
I totally get it. The first one shot I ran for TPK was Project Zion, way back in the distance, and it was 100%. I mean, there was a little bit of battle intermixed here and there, but it was very much a thematic kind of exposition heavy one shot, which is kind of what I prefer. I think Meg does an incredible job of using the system and kind of creating a good balance between the exposition and the combat there. So just all around, very good job. Very good. Also, twists and turns.
Oh,
You gotta love twists.
Love
especially
secret
like
traders.
multiple twists in succession. I wasn't like, I was like, oh yeah, like they just have one. Like that's perfectly fine.
They're fine.
Yeah, that got me.
Oh
and then
no!
They got me again.
Okay, now they're fine. Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so good, so good. Hey, listen, I don't see any questions in chat right now, but I think right now is a pretty good time to take a quick little intermission so that we can all refill our drinks and maybe go to the bathroom. And so, in the meantime, please, if you have any questions from any of the 14 Days of Halloween content or any questions that you want to ask us about literally anything, as long as it doesn't get political, because let's wait a little while for that. Go ahead and put them in chat, and we will answer them as soon as we get back. And to kind of percolate your minds there a little bit, we are going to be coming back to part 2 of the season 1 finale of Harper's Investigations. So if you have any questions, put them in chat. We will answer them. All right.
All right, go.
We'll see you soon.
Hey.
Now.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? How you doing?
What's up?
What's
Hey,
up, gang?
how's it going? How's it going?
You ain't wearing your
How you
hood.
doing?
You
How it
ain't a
going,
friend of
dude?
me. Anyway,
Everyone put your hoods up because it's about to get real rainy out here without tears. Without tears. Tears of joy and sadness. Tears of joy and sadness because we're discussing Harper's season 1 episode 25.
Ah,
25.
I really almost want to do the whole review with this voice.
Can we do it? Can we do it in this voice? Can we do the Pratt voice? Can we do the Pratt voice?
I could do a real quick voice.
I was real sad that we didn't get no Pratt in the last episode.
It was real bad.
I tried to convince. You know what? We haven't even gone into the discussion yet, but I tried to convince Luca to turn Pratt into a werewolf, and she wouldn't do it.
Well,
she wouldn't do it. Well, I know, but like he could have come out and attacked us, and it didn't turn out that way. But anyway, let's get into the recap here. Yeah.
You're killing Turk.
I have a lot of emotions in this moment, and I'm just gonna. How do you even begin to describe
from the beginning?
The events that occurred Tuesday individually is just an absolutely incredible experience. But in context of everything that we've been building up to with in regards to every single one shot beforehand, all the background text. What's up?
Real quick, if you haven't seen any Harpers yet, turn the stream off.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Major Harper's spoiler warning.
Major Harper spoiler warning.
Because it is the finale.
You're gonna finish the season if you listen to this. Sorry.
Yeah. If you have not watched Harper's and done all your reading, and gotten everything out of the way, if you haven't done your homework when you watch streams, then please do so now, and then come back and you can sob with us. Because, oh my God, there was just a lot that happened, and it was a lot, and it's just okay. I can do this. I'm a big boy. I can handle emotions. I can't, but we're doing it anyway. The Harper's group, after succeeding and failing to stop the ritual held by the cult of Malar, had limited options. They were going to either give up and go home and let the world effectively end, or they were going to have to go and show an avatar of an evil werewolf god that right exactly where the door was. And holy shit, we came to play. Put the fucking mask on, man. I see you. Put it on. Put it on. Oh yeah. Not only did our group come in looking freaking amazing, everyone obviously pumped for Halloween, for the finale, just for everything. There is the session is essentially get to the big fight, have a big fight, if you really want to simplify it down. But oh my God, just everyone going into it, there is just okay, let's actually do this. We open up on Estelle guiding her wards. I almost said kids, but they are technically her kids. Her wards back from a festival, and it's perfect because it lets you know how badly we kind of messed up in the first part of the finale, because everyone around them starts turning into werewolves. Not just normal, like, oh gosh, what a creature, terrible beast I've become. This is, coked out werewolves, and they want your face and the rest of you in their belly. And so Estelle is in a very precarious position. They have to both defeat werewolves and protect very small children who can't defend themselves effectively. And there's it was a really tense moment where you're dealing not only with a fight like your normal D&D high level combat action, but you're playing with an objective, and it was done amazing. The kids are safe, which is important, and it also gave us a really cool transition into our newest addition to the Harper squad, which is Nyx, which is played by like someone I don't remember their name.
Some white chick
person.
from North
Oh
Carolina.
my God!
just
So
coming out of the wall. Chat bar had come to life. So glad you could join us because after, weeks and weeks of just being absolute hype in the chat, finally got to bring that into the game as Nyx. Which, on a personal note, I'm always happy to see Nyx around, making a comeback. But after that, we go back to the ritual site, which was tense. Let's just cut to the chase. It was a very tense atmosphere. A lot of jimmies getting rustled. Tension. Everyone's just a little sad. Feeling a little disappointed on themselves. Some people had nearly given themselves to an unending void of madness. Others no longer existed because they gave their body to stop a ritual. It's fine. We had a kind of rally. We had to pull ourselves together, and after some absolutely fantastic scenes, we were ready. There was a lot of screaming and shouting and kind of figuring out. We just went up there and we had a plan. It was a plan until we got to the fight, at which point it was basically do whatever we can to survive and save as many people as possible. And holy shit, there was a discussion in the chat after session 1, like, is there anyone we can call? And I will be honest, I was 100% in the camp that, like, this is it. We're all that's here. We're the only people who are available and capable to get this done in the time frame that it needs to get done. I was a naysayer. I am also a giant idiot because holy shit, when the reinforcements arrived and the cavalry came in, literally shooting out of the sky, Battlestar Galactica style. Oh my god. All right, I did a lot of emotions. If anyone ever watches, watches the stream, I had a lot of emotions that night. That's not me overreacting. That is literally just me being into this session so damn much. And yeah, the combat was got real precarious, as I mentioned earlier in the stream here. There was a moment where you looked over and you're like, oh wow, everyone's at like level 2 character health right now.
Yep.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And you never, it's one of those moments where you almost feel bad your character has the big fuck off werewolf necklace on. But
Did you get touched once?
I did get touched once, but then I got overhealed, so it was fine. Get into that later. But yeah, we killed an avatar of Malar. Just casual, just as one does. And
yeah, no big deal. Just any old Tuesday for us Harpers.
And it was absolutely amazing. Both satisfying in and out of character to get this absolutely monumental task done. Everyone was on point. I mean, this is the Harper's crew, so I mean, I feel like we've all put so much into this campaign that at this point, nothing short of an active and well, evidently more powerful god than Malar, because honestly, we smacked the shit out of Malar. So anyone stronger than Malar would have stopped us. But so Malar's the bar. Below him,
Malar's the bar.
Above Malar, maybe we have some trouble. But yeah. Things you didn't think you'd hear tonight.
Yeah, Malar's the bar, everyone. Listen up. Listen up.
So, yeah, after that fight, there's a much needed debrief, and not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, there's gonna be a final send off because we're gonna go chat with our friendly neighborhood lich, Helibonia. And all the shit she has put us through, it's gonna come out, and it's gonna be real tense, and it's gonna be real heartfelt and sad because it's gonna end. And yeah, that's the summary. I know it wasn't very coherent, but my mind isn't coherent. about this.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed everyone's performances. It really was, there was a dynamic between Nicholas and Brazildul for a while throughout the campaign that kind of reached ahead in this episode. And
100%.
both I and my character, Gruff, have been noticing this and wanting to do something about it, but have been kind of just playing it off a little bit and letting things run their own course. But when it happened on screen, it felt very good for Gruff to be able to kind of shut that shit down, as one may say. So that was nice. Some other notable performances. We got Veldani. Just Sarah is just incredible in everything she does. And seeing the kind of
about the cosplay, please.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Oh
Okay.
my
If
God.
anyone. All right. So first
If
off,
anyone
also if we're
wanted
gonna talk about
cosplay.
costumes and cosplay, also we gotta get Tony in there.
Tony, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Tony spent 11 hours.
I cannot believe.
11 hours creating his
Works
costume.
for his Earth Turtles.
Yes.
He does.
He truly does.
He
If you haven't seen it, I would recommend going and watching it. If you have seen the rest of the of the campaign, but just at least pop in and look at some of the costumes, because holy crap! I had like a fur coat and this mask, and I was proud of that. And the rest of y'all just came in here swinging, and I was like, "Oh my god, no, please!"
I don't understand. I would literally bring a
but
coat.
Before we talk about costumes, Sarah,
well,
I would like to note another incredible performance by one of our players on Tuesday. And I think we have a clip.
Oh, we have a clip
for that performance.
Oh, we have a clip. All right, let's do it. No prompt. This is gonna roll. Oh.
To me now?
Yeah.
Alrighty. She is going to see all this madness happen in front of her. Just look just everybody kind of around and just say, "You must be out of your goddamn mind if you think I don't have a plan to bring us back from the brink. We're meddling in the middle of a magic muddle mess, a game of chess where I'm the only queen you see. You release the beast. This town is now a casket. Would you like to speak with that casket? Don't bother. It couldn't be clearer. You're gonna die because you drew nearer. And I'm going to 8th level mass cure wounds everybody within the area." I'm out of breath.
What's the total max?
Alright,
yes, since
the rest of the
I'm just
clip
gonna
is
hide
just
behind
actual.
my mugs
Don't you
more.
dare hide! Don't you dare hide! You would amazing.
So good. Yeah, you listen to Chrissy. You put that cup down, you amazing hero, Sir Heck. How dare you hide your face? No, that was incredible. Like, I'm assuming that was you had planned that, right?
I actually didn't. I had one combat round to think about what I was gonna do.
You underestimate her power.
Wait, that was completely. You came up with all of that in a round.
No, what's on Sir Heck's brain?
One combat round.
Listen up, y'all.
Because this is it.
Here at TPK Roleplay, we make dope shit. And if that's not the dopest thing you've ever heard, holy cow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no.
I mean, I've
so
just been
incredible.
listening to a lot of Hamilton, and
Yeah.
I was like, I could take the cabinet battle maybe and figure this out.
Oh
And
I thought-
Turk planted that little seed in my head. He was like, "Yeah, if we get the Bard's Refrain card, we could, do a rap battle, combat." And I was like, "Oh, we don't need a card for that. I think I can figure this out."
Did I know you would do that?
So
No.
I don't know. Did you?
It makes me sound a lot more intelligent and playing to your strengths if I do say that. But
Oh man,
Oh
just
my god.
just it's all so good. Thank you so much for breaking that out and having the confidence to break that out because it
No,
was
man, you guys.
perfect.
Yeah, I've said this to a couple people, but I don't think I've said it to just like the broader TPK like group or like you all in chat and stuff. But I have never rapped in front of people before, like not in person and definitely not on stream. Like that just like I've never done that, and just to go out there and do that like even surprised myself honestly. Like oh my gosh. And yeah, just to make a community that yeah I am so like comfortable and confident enough to do that kind of thing, to even like think about that, it's just like phenomenal. Like thank you all for creating that kind of environment, because oh my lord.
I feel so honored that you broke that out.
There are moments like this where, if I'm allowed to time travel a little bit to when we first started playing together, when you joined our original alumni group as as Knicks, and we're just like quiet, like I'm gonna play a bard, it's fine, I'll just like make a song here, like do a little like haiku kind of thing, and by the end of it, at least you're comfortable with us to like. You were making playlists for every arc. You were, custom writing songs for, bardic inspiration for each character. And I'm like, as soon as I was on TPK, I'm like, I know exactly who needs to be here. Like, and you're like, hey. And just, I am always amazed by the things you do, because you're like inspiration. The way you can put together shit so quickly is just fucking incredible. And like,
thank you.
I literally will never stop saying your dedication to a game is boundless. Like you were here for a one shot and that happened. I get it was the finale and so maybe you had to go all out, but like, God, I didn't know there was a level beyond Super Sarah like 3. Like,
hey, Harper,
it's
Harper
called
season 2.
Adrenaline. Yeah, it's adrenaline of fighting a god, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well.
Also,
All right. That's the
Tony,
deal.
I see you in the chat. Record deal when? I don't know. I mean, I'm working on a like kind of like post thing based on Valley Forge. I don't know if any of you have listened to the Hamilton mixtape, but there's like all the stuff that had to be cut out before the musical came out. And Valley Forge is like my favorite. I really like the way it flows, and it's just it's so different. It's like it's just kind of somber in a way, but also like I don't know, it's inspirational in a way. So yeah, like I'm working on that right now. We'll see how it goes. Like I had to like mix the background music because you can't just like find that anywhere apparently. So we'll see how that goes.
I mean, this is to remind everybody, the same person who wrote Harper's in the Sky. So Sir Heck mixtape coming out on TPK Records. Let's give you a year. I'm sure you can figure out an entire like 20 disc mix.
Listen, if I actually go back and watch the beginning of Harper's season 1, like who knows, I might be able to parody like all of Hamilton or something. Like I don't know. Like that's a lot of work though.
Look, but what if you did it though?
I just spoke those words into existence,
but what if you
now
did
I'm being
it?
looked at.
But what if you're doing it now? Because I need it.
Maybe.
For me. I don't care if you share it with anyone. I just need it, and I need it on my desk now, right next to the pictures of Spider-Man.
Oh my god, I see
Chrissy, no. Chrissy, no.
Oh my god, yeah, and the TPK wow.
Wow. Although, okay, I'll be honest. I felt like I was writing like kids bop. Okay, like that's what it felt like.
Look, all right, you know what? You want to go through there, and we want to figure out some more explicit things to say. Like, let's fucking do it.
I don't know. Maybe.
Speaking of more explicit things to say.
Holy fucking shit, Harper's is good. Or, sorry, no, you go.
No, that was probably the wrong way to lead into that. Hey, let's talk about costumes.
What? Hello?
Yes, of course. The fact that I was wearing nothing at all per my character. Very explicit.
Let's talk about costumes, everyone. Which one was your favorite costume? Go.
Favorite. All right, I can't. Okay, fucking. All right, I will say that in regards to like character look based off of portrait, I'm giving that one to Sarah. Just the Veldani look was like, yep, that's exactly what her art looks like. She even, she got the blacked out contacts for the full voidness. Like, just start to finish. I mean, also Luca was fantastic as well in that regard. But Tony and the fact that he kept that on all night, was articulating with it, was like touching his face and leaning on it, and just like
the dedication to that costume was so real.
I would be like, especially in the beginning, where I'm like, all right, I gotta get myself in the right headspace. Gotta be angry. Gotta be sad. Gotta have all these thoughts in my brain. And I look over and I see Tony like clicking his fingers onto his fake chin with his fake fingers, and I'm just like, it's so good though.
It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Luca's rendition of Ilya was really good too. The scar was incredible.
Oh yeah.
I asked her how she did that, and she literally just found like a bunch of like tiny water tattoo scars, and like just lined them perfectly. Like there were like 3 or 4 that she lined perfectly to make that larger scar.
And
so
then,
good.
okay,
So good.
the fact that Proper Nerdy was able to do Estelle's makeup and face paint like without a practice run. There was nothing. There was no net. There was no safety net. Like he just did it.
Full
and it was so
look.
good.
Like this whole neck was covered. It was just like
too good.
That's another point. Like everyone was like, I'm gonna have to wear headphones, and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to clean off all of my equipment because I am covered in face paint. You casuals.
It's so true though. Oh my gosh, the picture that he sent them the next day with all that makeup on it. That was so so funny.
Obviously, everyone wanted to go all out, but you didn't have to go all out like that. Oh my god.
It was so good. And, this was in game. This wasn't even like the makeup and stuff. Just the visual of just the bards inspiring each other was the best thing. Like it was just so wholesome. We're just vibing in the sky while everyone else is like fighting a god.
Estelle's just carrying you like, you're awesome, right? You're pretty awesome too. It's so good.
Yeah, I was almost certain that like what I'd end up doing for Estelle would be like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's like the song people know from Mary Poppins. I was like, oh yeah, I'm probably gonna end up figuring out something for that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I was like, we were flying, and I was like, no, let's go fly a kite. Let's go kick some ass. Like perfect. It's great.
So good. Too good. Too pure. Too pure. 3 pure 5 me.
Amongst everything that was occurring in that finale, just having that moment was like, oh yeah, everything is gonna be okay.
Or the fact, that the clip of Estelle say like you matter more than you know, like kept being shared like afterwards, just like a message to like everybody, just in real life. Like I was crying. Like, we do matter more than we know. It's so good.
Proper just knows the right things to say, to go right
For
to
real.
your heart. Like that's why we have Be a Terror. 100%
Be a Terror.
Proper just going for it. Yeah.
Proper's just so quotable. So quotable.
Quotable person.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to give too much away or talk about Harper's too much because we have more content to get to, and we can talk about Harper's for days. I do want to say there were some resolutions, not only to the campaign, but to certain story arcs, between characters and whatnot, that happened in the final episode, a lot of which were displayed in our Patreon, which is linked in chat soon. And we have a ton of text RPG or text RP between a lot of our characters that we don't necessarily have time for on screen. Otherwise, we'll be here for 12 hours instead of 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So go check that out. It's all free, and a lot of it is like you will get so much more invested in all of the characters, and a lot of the moments you'll experience on screen are so much more potent. And I would recommend if you're thinking, hey, this is a bit like challenging for me to get into right now, maybe it's a little too much content. Harper season 2, which starts next year, we're going to be doing the exact same thing. So check out that text RP between sessions, and because it's going to give a lot more insight into what kind of characters these that we play and the emotions and relationships that we're building off screen that affect what happened on screen.
And the good news is you don't have to read it all at once. We do note when certain things occur after certain episodes, so you know exactly what you need to read between when and what to get what is happening and why people will be so randomly shifting in personalities.
I can tell you I have been viscerally excited by things that happen in the text RP, and then immediately afterwards just like, oh man. And I wonder which one I'm talking about, Turk.
Look, man. What happened?
Listen, especially like the ones I remember the most are the ones that I like read before like going into the sky on a plane from New Mexico to North Carolina. Like I was like, oh my god, I don't have enough time to like really express what I want to say, but this was amazing. I've already read it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was so good.
You're like downloading them on a dock. Yeah. I remember that conversation.
I was like,
I remember. Oh my god, no! I remember that because we were getting. It was like the second to last. I think that was the second to last session. Oh no, the session before the finale, where a certain bad table was drawn, and you're like, no one can die in the first half because I'm gonna come in the second half. And I remember messaging you like, don't worry, it's fine. You don't have to hurry. And you're just like, what does that mean? I mean, that's how deeply vested. Even at that point, you weren't even in the game. You're just a viewer. But that's just how much we got into Harper's, and
man,
hopefully
it's contagious.
That same atmosphere with season 2. But again, we do have more stuff to talk about.
Tony,
yeah, we do.
Tony, the one I'm referencing is My Way, and I believe the one right after is Same but Different, right?
Oh god, that's that whole. Ooh.
Yeah. Hey, we're not going to talk about it. Yeah. We're not going to talk about it. Let's not talk about it, please.
The ones that I read on a plane, it was great. It was a good time.
Okay. Anyway, the next day after Harper's, which, no,
yes.
I'm good. I can stop talking about Harper's now.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Let's. The next day after Harper's, we had
Icaros. Why? It's just another. It's another JK masterpiece. Just to put it plainly.
Mm-hmm.
If you like game systems that are not your standard, and where the players will probably die or come very close to death, then you need to go say hi to JK and ask him to throw you a system that uses die you didn't know technically existed. Because, and this is a similar horror vein to Abandon All Hope. Oh my god, the stress watching this caused that just watching this sitting here. I was watching the VOD even afterward just to make sure I got all the details right. And I'm like, I know what happens, but I'm still really worried for everybody. Just the system itself puts so much pressure on the player's psychology, like your character's psychology. So it's really interesting to see a system that works both that both your health in and also can alter things about your character as you're playing. But to get into the story itself, to give a quick synopsis to entice you to be as scared for people as I was, we had, of course, I think Meg must have like just drawn a theme this year, and it was like, how can I get the most use out of this Ripley costume? Because she was here as our pilot for Outpost 3. We had the incredible Al the Biffer. Actually, no, I'll do Al the Biffer last, because then we had the premiere of Shockpoint to the team as Benedict, the leading scientist and quote unquote person who's here to give Meg shit, which we always love to see. Not giving Meg shit, but
Aw.
inter-character
Oh,
relationships being
okay.
as they are. No, okay. Yeah, JK's got 22 more systems left, and he hasn't even begun to scare players with odd questions. And finally, we had Al the Biffer, who was playing AM8RO5E, or Ambrose. And, you know, I wasn't aware there was going to be a plethora of sassy mechanical characters this second week, but between Estelle, Ambrose, and Artemis,
Oh man.
I think we got the trifecta. um, all members of Outpost 3, they are it I don't even I want to like give a quick synopsis story, because again, I just want you to watch it. It's just they're on a shuttle. It's the far-flung future. Humanity has reached out to the stars, and the stars have graciously welcomed them in with all the horrors that they can possibly muster. And this group of people are coming from Outpost 3. They're on a shuttle that's stuck in a sandstorm, and they need to find a way out. The premise is as simple as that, but of course, everything gets a lot more complicated when they start getting weird signals from the area near them. And I mean, it starts off so simple, just, you know, something about the way JK runs games is you can just like take a transcript of the things that occur within them and just write it out, and you're like, yeah, no, that's a film. That's, just I guess it might just be the way his brain works, given, he is a co-writer on a movie. But he consistently has created scenarios and settings where the players, even if they don't mean to, create cinematic moments. There's that uber tenseness of, the group separating, and one of the people sees two other characters coming near them, but they're too close, and it's just like they can communicate, but they don't know if you don't even know as a viewer if the two people there are going to be the players or something else. And just outplayed it very positively and very true to character of like, I'm just gonna go up and say hi. But as soon as he did, I did the thing when you're watching a horror movie, you're just going, no. I was really glad it wasn't too late at night when I was watching it, because that would have woken up my entire block. Uh, But again, it's an absolutely wonderful system, and I think one of the great moments that occur is when the GM gets to kind of take over a player because the psychosis hits. Um, and the clip I have for you all today for this fantastic stream is from one of those moments, just to show how the system can take rather an organic relationship that the players established in game and use it against you, kind of brutally, but still. All right, let's run this. I will say no more. Just, Vicky, that's very rude.
So you turn just sick of his shit, and you pull up your rigging gun and take a shot. I need you to roll your 2d10 for damage. $15. Okay.
15.
So a crit occurring in this for that particular weapon is triple damage. So that's 45.
Oh. Oh.
And it impacts you with enough force that it pins you to the beam behind you.
GG.
Yeah, so I know that doesn't really play into the story overall, but
Beep boop.
Beat Boop got beat blapped just right. And it's moments like those that, you have something as a character and the DM takes it away from you, or rather uses it against you, and you aren't mad at them. You're like, yeah, no, this is what I was going for. This is well deserved. It's a beautiful system. JK runs it, as with all his systems, wonderfully. And God, guys, it's just everything about this was an absolute charm to watch as a viewer. I mean, I've been on the player side for him twice now, and just the music, the the effort he puts in to making this setting, everything he does feel real and fun to both watch and experience. It's it's a it's great. I look forward to everything he has coming out forward. More,
Mhm.
I want more crazy systems. I want
Yes.
overarms for no reason, JK. Just give me overarms. I will say no more about why I want it, but you know why I want it. Um,
Oh.
and I actually know for a fact he's got some more stuff coming up in November, so be on the lookout for that. Got some really
Big
exciting
hype.
stuff for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Icaros.
I, for one, would love to be in a game that JK DMs. I have not yet, which is a catastrophe. Have I?
Gotta get in
No,
on that.
I don't believe I have. I think I would remember if I was, to be completely
Yeah,
honest.
you would. Like
Yeah.
the first game I was in, I'm pretty sure we lost, like the whole one-shot adventure. We blew up a church, and I'm still coming out of it like I feel bad. I felt bad because I'm like, you put a lot of work into this. He's like, this was perfect. I'm like, excuse me.
Why? Hello.
Yeah. So hey,
You
JK,
killed
I
a
had
man.
I had you as a player. Now you get to have me as a player. Let's do this thing. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you.
And man, like I don't know if you guys ended up watching Desert of the Dead, like the first one shot that both JK and I were in. It's like, period. Like it was wild. It was so whack. It was a great time.
Yeah, just an absolute
Back
treasure.
when I was a little baby TPKer, but now look at me. Oh my god.
I would
More
not.
infectious.
I would not describe any of JK's work as a train wreck, which coincidentally, the next thing we're going to talk about
Oh, that segue.
Wow.
A transition.
certainly could have been.
Damn, that is quite a segue. And it's like something you'd be embarrassed to ride around a city in.
Ha 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 ha. No, we got this. We got this. All right. Murder on the Eberron Express. No, I'm not doing that voice. Sorry, can't do it.
Tempting. It's tempting.
It is. It's tempting, but like, I don't want people to hate me. Okay, Murder on the Eberron Express. Oh my goodness, was this something that Luca Locke put together?
Name a more iconic duo, TPK and Absolute Shenanigans, with trying to figure out a murder.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. So Luca put this together and invited all the cast, and then I feel like the train went off the rails a bit. No, okay. No,
Didn't even register. I think my mind just blocked that one out.
Yep. No. We're just gonna go on past it. Listen. There was Luca, and there were eight players. Right? 8.
1, 2, 3, 4,
there were 8.
5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah, 8 players. I think that's the most players we've had in a one shot or anything so far. And the previous record was broken last Tuesday by Harper's with 7 players.
Yeah, with 7.
So just big things coming out of 14 days here. But no, let me kind of tell you a little bit about what Murder on the Eberron Express was about, and then shut my mouth. So essentially, it is a TTRPG kind of inspired by Murder on the Orient Express, which is an incredible book, incredible movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it now, right now. Don't bother renting it. Buy it. Go get it now. Okay. So yeah, all of the players played specific archetypes. I was the conductor, Choo Choo. Turk was
I was the heir, which made me the coolest character.
And there were a lot of other players that I don't have time to mention. No. Let's see. Turk, you have the picture up. You mentioned.
Yes, I do. Okay. So I'm gonna go myself around because I already introduced myself. There was Dev Develops playing the Ice Queen. We had Sarah X Franco as the former business partner. We had Al Biffer as the scholar. We had Tony as the retainer, the loyal retainer, or was he? We had Proper Nerdy as the lover, and we had Ekash the orc as as the spouse. There's a lot of as in that, but I promise that is accurate.
Yep. So yeah, chaos ensued throughout the entire thing. We started off really nice. Something that Luca and I talked about afterwards is she kind of gave me the reins a little bit in the first scene there as the conductor, going through and introducing people kind of, and scanning them for magical items and whatnot that they couldn't bring on the train because of reasons. Reasons because I'm a narc. So we got on the train. I got to say all aboard, which is, amazing. Childhood. Childhood? Come on. Now. We went through. It was a very, very, almost exclusively RP heavy session. And it was just back and forth between different characters and throughout the entire group, mixed in with murder mystery goodness and absolute utter chaos. And if you want to know what the chaos was like, Turk.
Yeah.
Roll film.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
He's held against it. Perhaps if you would
What do you mean by
I'm sorry, Edmund. Did he not owe you money? Is that where all this kumbaya shit's coming from? Cause he fucking owed me money.
Everyone,
Well.
if I may please have your attention.
Unless you're serving drinks, you ain't got shit of my attention.
I want drinks too, please.
For once, I agree with this ignorant fop.
Only for communion.
Excuse me, wait, which one of us is the fop?
Archibald.
So yeah, there was...
Just a lot, guys. Just a lot. There were even cats. There were cats on the train. Just messing with Yak.
She woke up, okay? She had to let me know.
Yeah. I'm not going to discuss any of the, like who the murderer was or anything, but funny enough, we didn't know who the murderer was until literally the very end. And so the entire cast, or everyone in the entire story, was played by the cast. Like, there was one and a half characters that were voiced by Luca. The rest of the entire game was just back and forth trying to come up with something. And I think we did a pretty damn good job.
It was like Among Us, but just an emergency meeting the entire time. No ejecting. It's just the emergency meeting and people yelling at each other.
Yeah. I will say the murderer, who shall remain unnamed because go watch it. They came up with their whole spiel at the very end. And the monologue they had was off the cuff and so so good.
We almost
So
clipped
good.
it. We almost clipped it, but I said I was like, we can't show this. As much as I want to, we can't give it away.
Yeah, it's still new. It's still new, so people gotta go watch it.
Yeah. No, but I would. Oh man, I would highly recommend going and watching that. It was an incredible game. So many awesome outfits.
Oh,
and
y'all
like,
dressed to the nines. Like,
yeah,
I could not believe, like, there was just so much to take in when you all went live, because it was just, holy overlay, holy costumes, like, whoa.
Also, yes, good thing.
Scream.
Thank you for pointing that out, Heck. Almost, I think all, if not most, of the overlays are created by Luca Locke. And she is incredible. She does all of this faster than I could even practically imagine someone doing it.
She's already finished one while we were discussing it.
Yeah. As we were in this episode, she's probably finished all of November's. So give her a round of applause. And just everything, all of the professional stuff that we're able to do is because of the people we have in our community, and it's so awesome being able to show up and dress to the nine and just be dope people. But like, for instance, Al the Biffer with his 4-pronged beard.
Oh, it was so good.
With
yeah,
his mouth, he
Face
had
paint.
a prosthetic and face paint on the whole night.
So good.
I can't have vampire teeth. My mouth gets bothered with a mouthpiece for sports, and this dude's sitting here with like fangs coming out of the bottom of his lip
Like, how
all
did he
night
even
speaking.
talk?
Yeah, exactly. No.
Like, he did a voice
Ugh.
and spoke and just like all of it. But I don't. How do you do that? How do you do that? I don't even know.
Who knows? But I'm excited to have everyone that was in Murder on the Oberon Express back for more games. And I know that a number of them have signed up for spots in Harper Season 2. So it's gonna be
so fun.
It's gonna be some good stuff.
Incredible. Oh.
Good stuff. So, do we have any questions in chat?
I could have sworn we had one.
Luca, stop it. We know you have November done. Don't you lie to us.
All right. Well, there's a lot of people talking about everything. I could have sworn that we had a question, actually. Just got to scroll up here. Oh yeah, okay. This one was from Callie. Thank you, Chrissy. Did any of you guys do anything during game that was completely unexpected, or did you flip the script at all?
That was pertaining to Harper's, right?
Yes.
I think I saw it during Harper's.
Yeah, that was asked during Harper's, but honestly, we could just turn that into just anything while we were playing these last.
I mean, pretty much everything is off the cuff, right? Like all of my stuff is, at least. Like I know a few people with in Harper's had discussed some of the stuff beforehand and maybe how they would react.
I think the plan was, we knew going in there would be a big fight. Like, that was kind of just like a given. We knew the adventure for what it was beforehand, and we didn't want to get bogged down and everyone having a long drawn out moment, or just everyone talking over each other, which would be, I think, worse. And so we were all like, all right, well, it's not necessarily like we're going to commit to pairing off, but we're going to figure out like a group, that a person you would more than likely talk to and would have a really would be able to help you in this moment or clash in this moment. So I know with Nicholas and Brazil Duel, we were like, this is a conversation, this is a point where we both need to figure out a plan, and there's definitely conflicting interests with character goals, and we just we didn't hash out a full conversation. We didn't write a script, but we definitely did hit on a few. We were like, what is the general energy you're gonna bring and how can we make this work so we don't catch anyone off guard with anything too much, but still we have that room to RP in character. It's just like, you know, in general, like this scene is gonna be heavy. Let's be a little bit ready for it. But beyond that, it was Harper's was 100% off the top of the head. Everyone doing everything. As much as people might look at the text RPs and be like, "Why are you guys writing so goddamn much?" It helps immensely to get you in character, especially as you know the one shots. You do have a goal. You know there is a mission to complete. You can't. This isn't like you know a continuing adventure where you have these whole sessions dedicated to like let's just sit around the campfire and talk about our backgrounds and you know get drunk and tell our entire adventure to the new person. Like that's not going to happen in this.
Listen.
Yeah.
So having these text RPs and be able to express them gives you that idea of what your character would do in these moments. And so I wouldn't say there was anything unexpected that I did. I would say the one thing I really didn't expect to do and kind of just like went for it was just the character regression with Jack from Long Night at the Booth House. Just I came in with the idea, and that was kind of just in part to the setting. Like I came in like, okay, this guy's an asshole. He doesn't want to be here. He kind of thinks everyone here is still a loser. But as I was like actually playing him, I'm like, oh no, he's a piece of shit, but like he's trying at least. And you know, I think there are some things I did in the moment where I'm like, okay, you know, this works. Like for this new character concept I came up with, I wouldn't ever. I guess the unexpected thing I did for everyone else was use a blood packet when I killed a man as a goose. But
yeah.
No, it's a honk. But yeah, no, nothing really, truly like. I'm gonna flip the table on all of you unexpected. You know. Oh, I guess also being Sherlock.
Yeah, I think the term that you used when you were yelling at Braz in the Harper's
Dragon
finale.
fucker?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no. See that's the thing.
I think that's what really like that kind of pissed me off, and so I was like really like I don't think I never had it planned for Gruff to yell at the two of you, but like that was like
that was it. Oh
no,
my god.
no, this is gonna stop.
I will say that moment was spoken about as a possibility because we had talked about kind of earlier, like, is Braz just gonna walk away? Like, he's got a job to do and he's just gonna do it. And like, in my brain is like, all right, how do we get him to stop walking? And so I wanted to clear with him, like, hey, I want to say something mean, but not so mean that you feel like you need to in character attack me and bog us down with that. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna let you know, like, not exactly what I'm gonna say, but it's gonna be bad. And I just want you to know it's coming from love. So yeah, I appreciate that it had that reaction for everyone else because in the moment I was like, yeah, that's the trump card for me in this conversation. That and then throwing the kinship ring in his face, like.
Oh, that was like, yeah, I just watching that. I was like, all that RP leading up to like warning bond and all that.
Oh yeah, no.
He throws it. Read the RP, you guys.
Read the RP, guys. Oh man.
Oh my god. And like the fact that was it a bad table that allowed Luca to take that spell away? Or
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I was like, it was the worst bad table we could have gotten. Like...
And you could see it's you know, obviously Luca doesn't. She doesn't really want to kill us.
Yeah.
But there are definitely times you can say, "Oh, this is delightfully evil." She was just like, "I get to pick any spell," and you could just like the thought was already there. There's, you
I
know,
know, as
this is of course
soon
Luca
as-
just being
yeah.
ultra prepared for everything. It's just like, if I could take away, like, how often do you think if I could take away one of my player's spells, what would it be?
Yeah. Oh,
I
can
was
we
so
also
scared she was gonna do it, and then she did it. And I
can
was
we
like, oh.
can we discuss the deck of TPK things that was drawn during the fight?
Oh my. Okay.
Because I was very scared. I was very scared. So I curated the deck of TPK
Mr.
things.
Rogers, man.
And I was dreading it the entire episode. And when it was drawn, if you go back and watch, I'm sure it was clipped, and if it wasn't clipped, you can go and watch the episode. But right when it was drawn, you can see it on my face. I was like, oh no.
Like there are things that could
So
ruin us.
much
Like,
that could go wrong, and so much that could go great. Again, that's
Yeah.
why I was like,
True.
Bars are frayed. Get us a fucking rap battle.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah,
And what was
it's
drawn
basically Madverse City.
was fine. What was drawn was fine. But like it was drawn. And then Lucas starts rolling a D8 to see who gets it. And it lands on me. And I know what some of those cards are. I know what some of those cards are. And she made me roll the dice. And if I had gotten a 1,
0 hit points like that.
I would have my 200 hit point
Yeah.
self.
200, not just 200 hit points. 200 hit points, an average of upwards of 100 damage.
Mhm.
Character.
Yeah. All gone.
Down.
Would be gone.
Now, to be fair, well, that would have screwed things because of what happened
Yes.
right
Oh my
afterwards. But we're not going to talk about that. You need to go watch. You need to go watch. Yeah, because I literally had to fight through sobs as something happened. Yeah, no, it could have gone bad. It could have gotten a lot better too. But that's kind of the crux of the deck of TPK things. It's very well curated, if I don't say so myself. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. So yeah, keep watching our content because I'm sure it's going to be pulled a lot more. And if you want to see us all sing, that's one of them.
Cards are free.
It is one of them.
I just ask that it's pulled when Luca is in the session, either as a GM or a player.
That's yeah. No, it's bad because it's got to the point where I'm like looking at all the different categories of songs and being like, all right, if this gets pulled with this character, what do I sing for each category? And it's also bad because I'm like, I kind of hope this gets pulled for this character now because it works.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've ever watched Whose Line Is It Anyway, it's basically that when Wayne Brady used to do like the song improvs. Like it's essentially that. Like
Yeah.
Essentially had.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. The deck of bait things. I just want to say like one more time, like it can have very long-ranging effects on games, especially like don't be afraid to be like, oh, okay, well this one shot is this isn't a one shot. This is a continual campaign. This can't be, we can't have this impacted. Like this is a long-term thing with long-term. Do it anyway, because I guarantee you, it will add to whatever's going on.
Yeah, and I will say we have kind of proofed it a little bit so that none of the cards are going to immediately result in a player character death, which can't be said too much about the deck of many things. But it's very much, it's more like statusy and kind of zany than it is like a you're gonna die type thing. So anyway,
is that somehow everything?
Anyway, speaking of you're gonna die, let's talk about stories to tell in the dark.
boy.
But do we have to?
Yeah, we do. This is going to be our final segment here tonight on TPR. So again, if you have any questions that haven't been answered, or you're feeling like you want to extend the stream as long as you can because you love our faces, put them in the chat. We'll answer them. So guys, unfortunately, Cole deleted Trick or Treat before I could go in and
It's gone.
like
Goodbye.
specifically pick out certain things. But I figured it might be fun for us to do a little bit of what they were doing, little stories to tell in the dark thing. What do you think?
You can give it a shot. I have
Sure.
I mean, if anything, if you have like a story that is spooky, like I know
I just shared one in the channel, and it
Yeah.
was like personal experience. So like, I'm down for just recounting that. I guess if people didn't read it.
Yeah. For clarification, for anyone who is either not in the Discord or didn't participate in our little trick or treat yesterday, we had kind of like a sit around the campfire and tell scary stories channel put in all day yesterday on Halloween. And it was really fun. People posted pictures of their costumes and stuff that they made drink wise and food wise, and a lot of spooky things were shared, and it was a lot of good fun. So who wants to start?
I mean, I can start with my real life scariest moment I
Do
think
it.
I've had. All right. Honestly,
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just go around and tell
Tell
everybody our deepest, darkest fears.
Hey everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm afraid of being alone. Anyway, no, so as I have mentioned earlier in the stream about horror things, I am afraid of things. I become feared easily. I just like to think my response to fear has improved. See, I used to do the curl up and cry and run away thing, but now I tend to react more poorly with the like finger gun at the thing that's scaring you. It's more effective at looking like you're courageous, but not really the fight or flight response you want. Um, but this is earlier, back when I was terrified of things. My very good friend growing up had owned or at least partially owned a pine like a Christmas tree farm. They grew evergreen trees out in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, which, if you're not familiar with the geography of New Jersey, there is North Jersey, which is basically New York extended, and it's got a part of the Appalachian, but for the most part, it's just suburbia, some smaller towns, and gets more urban as you get to New York, and then South Jersey, which is a bit more rural, uh, but also generally based around Philadelphia and kind of the same suburbia. Then Central Jersey has this lovely little natural feature called the Pine Barrens, which is a whole, as the name might suggest, is a whole big section of watery, real, terrible woods that are just full of pine trees and full of weird stuff. And, I'm sure every state has the weird NJ equivalent kind of thing. But growing up, it's kind of ominous that all the weird stuff happens in the Pine Barrens. And no one really ever moves in there. There's not really any developments there. It's all just land that is left for the woods to reclaim constantly. One such feature, but anyway, we go down for like a weekend because, again, they are partial owners. They can do whatever they want with it. They have this area where we can go and run around the woods and shoot each other with airsoft and, get poison ivy and, be outdoorsy for a weekend because they're a bunch of suburban kids who are, not super athletic. So it's what you do. You go and pretend to be cool. And my friend, to his credit, had been going for a while. Like he, even as a younger kid, had gone with his older brother and his friends, and kind of just sat around the fire swapping stories. And there's been some weird things. Like there is a prison near the Pine Barrens, and they have seen helicopters fly overhead on their campsite, and shine lights on them, and then go on. And they only find out the next day that someone escaped from a prison and had been in the woods. So, they just happened to have a big old campfire going. And in addition to that, you hear about things like the Jersey Devil, a whole lot of cult-based activity in the Pine Barrens, just a lot of strange things because it's a large swath of unknown woods. And we're pretty far back out on this farm. We're basically on an unused field that the guy who stays there full time uses to hunt deer. It's a big empty field full of corn, or fake corn, what they used to like bait deer. And I had spent the entire week or so before that getting my head filled with all these fun little stories about what I could expect. And lo and behold, after a fun day rather, of getting, shot in the side of the stomach with airsoft guns, and, screaming at each other that you're out, no, you're out, no, you're out, and, doing all the things you do when you're like 12, I woke up in the middle of the night having to go to the bathroom, as one does. Except there was no one else awake. It was dead quiet. It's the kind of quiet you can only get when you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I was positive that if I left this tent, I was going to die. Not like in the this is the start of the horror movie kind of way. And I will never forget this little brave act of my part was like getting up and tiptoeing and being like, maybe if I'm really quiet, the monster that's waiting just outside this tiny little plastic tent won't realize I'm here. And maybe they'll just like, that will deter them. It's the same kind of like logic that pulling a blanket over your head gives you as a kid. And so I somehow, I don't know how I got this level of positive thinking in my brain. I had to like slowly unzip the tent and look outside both ways, and like the fire's almost dead. There's nothing else going around, and I have, there obviously I think everyone's had going to the bathroom nervous. Everyone's had like, oh gosh, I really need to rush this experience. I can almost guarantee you, I have never once so quickly evacuated my bladder. It was terrifying. I took 2 steps out of that tent, whizzed like a motherfucker, and ran back in. Certain. I was so certain because I did that. I was like, did the little kid pee where you're like, this is leaving me real exposed to just the world right now. And I was like, oh, this is even in your own head, you hear like a twig snap way
If
off in the
someone
woods next to
clips
you. And you're just certain, like, yep, that's the monster, that's the cultist. It's the monster and the cultist and the creepy guitar player and the prisoner, and they're all hanging out together, and they're all gonna kill me because, I'm 12 years old, and that makes me pretty important in the world.
Wait a minute. Did you live through a J.K. Madigan one shot?
Honestly, it's a J.K. Madigan one shot with no monster. It's all just stress. It's just the stress.
Oh man.
And I am so glad that it rained that night, because they would have walked out of the tent and just like been like, who pissed on our tent? Like, I did. You're lucky I didn't piss in the tent. It almost got to there. And I remember, and the best part is, even after that, like, you think, oh, okay, now I can rest. Of course not, because now they have my scent. So I didn't sleep the entire night. I'm sitting here like, it's like eyes open, like, When are they gonna come? Like in a sleeping bag, like curled up, like zipped to my chin. Like that's gonna stop them. If someone wanted to get in here and do me harm, just
my
like
God.
sitting there being like softly like, "Hey, is anyone awake? Is anyone awake?" And finally, someone's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, thank God, I'm not gonna die alone."
Guys, help.
Guys, there's a monster. I think he peed outside the tent.
Guys, I think there was a bear. I think a bear peed. A bear peed.
Yeah, so that was my scary story. Not really an actual scary story, more just a time I was absolutely scared shitless or pissless. Um, After
My
that,
God.
I was a lot more confident being there because the next time we went, I was allowed to keep there, so I've got it with me at all times. Again, like, yes, the tent and my sleeping bag and this little tiny plastic ball shot from a spring gun will stop them.
Oh, hey,
Like,
Saint.
hey, Saint, no, it was just me.
Saint!
Saint. All right.
I mean, mine's kind of in a similar vein. Mine also happened on camping, so I guess I could go. It's not like super scary. I was just
Go
super
ahead.
unsettled.
Go ahead. Leave me for
but,
last.
Yeah,
Well,
so
you're the scariest one, of course.
yeah, you probably do. I was on a 6-day backpacking hike with my class on our study away last year, and the thing is, we were hiking to a peak, Reed's Peak. If you look it up, it's like an elevation of 10,000 feet, and yeah, like we had to schlep it on up there. We had packing mules. It was super cool, but yeah, there was one night that we were camping in this valley. There were two different valleys just like on each step on the way up there, essentially, and something weird was happening in that valley, I swear, because I had weird dreams, and then I think one or two other people had weird dreams, but only in that location. So it was cold as heck. Okay, it was so cold, and I there are some people just sleeping in their Enos. I couldn't do it. I was like, I have to go back into the tent because I'm going to freeze my ass off and get sick or something. So I went back into the tent, and it was just like, yeah, just like really not great sleep. And yeah, the first dream that I had was just like my vision is panning like across all these different what looked like wanted posters, except I didn't recognize any of the faces, and I for some reason couldn't read any of the names either. Like there was nothing signifying anything that was necessarily scary, but for some reason there's just this feeling of dread with everyone that I panned by. I don't know why, but it just, yeah, like that was the first one I had. I was like, okay, like whatever, I guess. Like that was kind of weird, but okay. But the second one was what got me though. So I go back to sleep, and it starts with a POV that is like outside my POV. Like it's me looking at me sleeping in the tent. It was so weird. So yeah, it's like, yeah, just me sleeping in the tent, but it goes back to my POV. So I wake up inside the dream, and I'm just looking around the tent. I'm just like in my sleeping bag, so I just kind of like roll and look around, and there's just like a little bit of like light or like vision like past my immediate like self. It's like maybe a half a foot or something, and all of this, and it's like pitch dark past that, and all of a sudden I look to my left, and this like hand just comes out from the dark and reaches towards me, and I shot away. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, holy shit. And I swear, like, I didn't put this in the original post on Discord, but I swear, like, for a good, like, 3 seconds after I woke up, I just, like, couldn't hear. Like, I just couldn't hear anything. Like, it was, oh my god, it was so scary. And then, like, 5 minutes later, another person was too cold and comes into the tent. Of course, that scared me, but it wasn't actually, like, anything wrong for that one. But, oh, like, there's some unsettling things out in the woods. Like, you know, again, I posted the picture of that tree, too, that was just by itself in the second valley. Like, I don't know. It was just, like, it looked like an evil tree. Like, if a tree could be evil, it was an evil tree. Like, it was, like, half of a trunk with no branches. Half of it was, like, it looked almost, like, scorched upward. Whether it was, like, just, like, from decay or actually burned, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of stuff was, like, looked hacked off maybe, and a lot of the grass around it was dead. I was like, okay, we're not gonna go anywhere near that tree.
Dude, we gotta get you to the entrance to hell in New Jersey. It's literally an evil tree.
God.
It's one of those things like
no,
snow
seriously,
doesn't
like,
fall around
yeah,
it.
like, I seriously feel like some of, like, the hikes I've been on and stuff like that, like, I seriously feel like I've entered another place sometimes. Like, I've also posted before, you know, I went on a hike by myself in New Mexico for the last couple months, and there was, like, this archway, and I was like, oh, I just, like, went into the Feywild because a couple steps after that archway, my cell service just went out. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. But the Feywild was very benevolent that day. They were fine.
Yeah, I was on a hike by myself in New Mexico is never a strong start to a story that
Hey,
you
no, that
intend
one
to
was
survive
fine,
through.
but the first one, no, the first one, no, I got the nature know-how, okay? Like, the first one I went through, you know, I ran into that rattlesnake. But
Yeah.
I was fine.
No, also quickly for JK, yes, there is the entrance to hell is in New Jersey, which honestly shouldn't surprise anybody. But there's a tree there that no one can seem to cut down, and snow doesn't fall around it, and it just is real bad juju. Never been there, don't intend to.
Well, I guess I'll round it right off with my terrifying story. For those of you who believe in ghosts, this is probably going to resonate with you. For those of you who don't, this is my experience. I'm sorry if you don't believe me, but there's that. So I lived in the house. It was a bit of an old house, not like super old, but you know, as a kid growing up, you know, you would hear weird things and see stuff out of the corner of your eye and blah 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 stuff like that. And you know, I probably could have, you know, put all of that to rest if it didn't start affecting the people that lived in the house. So my brother, there was about a year where he used to have just vicious night terrors, and he would like in his sleep scream just bloody murder, and then like we would rush into his room and he would just stop. And I can remember a couple of times where I was out in the living room because I was a rebellious kid and I like to stay up late. And I would like where I would sit in the living room, you could like see his bedroom door, and he always left his door open, which I didn't understand. And all of a sudden, you would just see him completely asleep sprint down the hallway and then back into his room and then just done. And it was like, what is going on here? You know, like we would ask him about the stuff that he does, the stuff that he like says in his sleep, and no recollection. So at the end of the year, like some things were changing, and we were cleaning out our attic, and up in the attic we found a black book, which is the Satanic Bible. We disposed of it, and he never had night terrors ever again. So that's part one.
Oh God.
That frames my real story. So I still to this day believe that some residual energy was left behind. He hasn't been necessarily affected. He wasn't necessarily affected as much, but there was a time where I was house sitting while I was in college for my parents. They were taking my brother out on college tours and stuff like that. And I don't remember why I was doing this, but I was in my brother's room for some reason, laying on top of his bed. I think it was because like my dog was laying in there with by himself, and I wanted to like go pet my dog or whatever. And I was laying on the bed. All the lights were completely on, or at least a lamp light was on, and the light in the living room was on. So there was like a little bit of darkness. And I was laying there petting my dog, and I just see his head shoot up, and he started to growl. And I looked, and standing in the doorway was this black silhouette. And I froze and blinked, and it was gone. And immediately, like I was frozen for just a little while because I didn't know what the hell to do. And so I got up, I turned all of the lights on in the entire house. I turned all of the lights on in the entire house, including all of the lights in my brother's room. I closed his door and I sat on my couch and I just watched his door. And I felt this overwhelming dread just fall over me. It was just the most visceral fear and just terrifying experience I've ever had. And I like went up to his door to I don't know what I was doing, but I like went up to it and I saw under the door where light would normally come through, pitch black. No light was escaping that room. And so freaked out, I went and grabbed, I went to a Catholic high school. So I went and grabbed some rosaries that I had hanging on my wall. As soon as I touched them, everything was fine. I felt all of the fear and panic fall out of my system. I like went and opened the door to his room and everything was just totally fine. So, you know, you can believe what you want about ghosts and whether or not they're real, but like, I believe it because I've experienced it.
But why did you stay in the house? That's not. Oh boy.
I couldn't leave. Don't get me wrong. There was a point where I was like, okay, like I guess I can grab the dogs and take them to a friend's house. I don't know, but like I ended up hanging one of the rosaries on his bedroom door and closing the door, and keeping the other one on me the entire night. And like, oh man,
Yikes!
It was freaky. It was freaky. Looking at some of the comments in here. Hey, did you try turning on all the lights via fire?
Which is fair.
Yeah, it was very fair.
Have you considered destroying the house?
Oh man.
Nuking it from orbit.
Yeah. So that's my ghost story. Sorry I wasn't able to share it in Trick or Treat yesterday, but
No,
I figured I would share it now.
Save it
you know?
right before I go to bed. Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that was a good episode, guys.
We
Thank
do
you
have
so
one
much.
question.
Oh, do we?
We do have a
Where?
question, Tony. Right before we got into scary stories, I didn't want to interrupt the flow. He's asked, "What's your favorite episode of the 14 days of Halloween were?" Was is
Yes.
something that haven't changed.
Yes.
Didn't he say that wasn't Harper's?
That
Yeah,
wasn't
that
the Harper's
wasn't
finale.
Harper's.
You can't pick the Harper's finale because
I
you're all
think
too emotionally invested in that.
I think my favorite was probably Murder on the Eberron Express, just because it was such a powerful performance by everyone in there, and having a cast of 8 incredible players who put so much work into designing their characters and their outfits, and it really was like being a part of a movie. So that was probably my favorite, just because of how different it was from a lot of the other stuff that we do. Luca barely had to talk at all the entire one shot, because we were just
timer, basically, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You wanna go, Sarah?
Sure. I mean, y'all already know it's gotta be a long night at the booth house. Like, straight up, like, first of all, okay, it's a JK one shot, so there you go. Like, there you go. There's number one. But also, yeah, like, for very similar reasons, it was just so cinematic in a way, even though there was still improv and dice elements and everything. It was just, yeah, like, I feel so different from just a regular D&D session that, is very commonplace for all of us. So yeah, no, I think I would go with that.
Yeah, see, I'm real conflicted because I mean, well, the good news is Booth House and at Murder were both nearly the same character, so
yeah,
it was a different kind of asshole, though. It should be noted.
Yeah, frat bro versus jock asshole. That was it.
Which is a different beast. It just happens to be very similar. I'm actually having trouble with this, like giving superlatives, because I mean, the one I had the most fun playing in, like as a player, even that's tough. I gotta like, honestly, everything I played in was fantastic. Sherlock was an absolute joy. But I don't want to cheat the question. Um, I think my favorite 14 days of Halloween one shot has to be, it's got to be the Booth House, just to play and watch and just.
Booth House was very good. Very good.
It was one of those sessions. As much as I really enjoyed Murder on the Eberron Express, as much as I absolutely enjoyed playing in Sherlock and getting that, the way that we were able to go and riff, and this is me coming in and like watching Smash Cut being like, fuck, I gotta up my goddamn game. Like that level of just going off and making this world based off of things you say. It's one of those things that is really what TPK I think is all about. It's the soft moments between the high points in combat, but the systems that are made around you fighting. This one is just a system that gets out of the way as much as it can. And to be fair, Tony brings up a good point. The goose was an absolute joy to play as well. I would not say I would not. I'm just like, as much as I absolutely enjoyed being the goose and just confusing everybody by being a goose that kills people, that will destroy the world, and that I hope gets more chance to show off his skills. I do have to say, like, I can watch like Booth House as someone who's just like watching it again and be like, yeah, no, this is fun for me to watch, and I fucking hate watching myself. as soon as I hear my voice today, these clips, I'm like, this is the worst thing in the world. Why is anyone enjoy this? But that is one I look back at the clips and I'm just like, yeah, no, kick the shit out of it with that one, just all around. But again, that is a very tough choice to make. Everyone did so well with all their stuff. I think we highlighted obviously everything that went on, but I don't think we could go enough into detail with how amazing everyone did to put together the 14 Days of Halloween and make it into something something just absolutely special and unique to TPK with the level of dedication we put in and just the absolute immense quality of work consistently that was put out night after night after night after night. You know, just it was an absolute joy to watch, to be a part of, to play, to talk about, and I very much look forward to next year because I'm gonna love to see how we meet and top this.
I mean, even for most of these, right, like live spark notes of, because I'm sitting there with my little setup. I have like the screen and the chat, and then like a little like sliver of a Word doc up, and would just write what happens. Like it was so fun to do. I was like, oh my god, I just wrote this crazy thing that happened. This has been recorded. Like, oh my god. It was it was incredible. You could tell the amount of prep that went into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Well, thank you both for joining me on this, the first episode of Total Party Recap. Yeah, well, no, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for joining me.
We can agree to disagree.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Oh.
How quiet. Oh. No, never mind.
Oh yeah.
That's a tech question.
Tech question. Hey, we're over tech questions.
I am not good at tech. Thank you.
We don't do tech here. Who tech?
We're like, who has the best worst internet? Oh.
Seriously.
Anyway.
Seriously. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out and watching tonight. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for considering us and your viewing. Yeah, words are difficult. But yeah, no, we will be continuing this kind of same schedule, although shorter episodes every week.
Shorten this.
Yeah, we're actually we're good on time. Like we still got like estimated 14 minutes ahead here. So heck yeah, everyone. But yeah, no, we're going to be doing this every Sunday at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST. Wow.
It's continue to happen.
Yes, and so if you want more of this, follow on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube or subscribe on Twitch.
And also, we're gonna have a web page pretty soon. That's in the work.
Yes.
So
and
you'll be able to submit questions, put summaries on there, all of that. It's gonna be great.
Yes, that is in the works. We're going to be compiling questions from each specific episode so that we have that list prepared. We will still be taking stuff from chat, but I think it's a lot easier if you have questions like during the week or whatever, just to pop over to the webpage for us. So yeah, thank you all so much. I have been Tyrant. Again, you can find me everywhere at Dr. Tyrant. Turk?
Yeah, I feel like we got that. Yeah, I am Turk. You can find me on Twitter at Turk Accented. You can come and not see me really stream anything at Turk with an accent on Twitch. If I am streaming, it's probably to test my internet But who knows? Maybe one day I'll do something cool on it, and you'll never know. But yeah, thank you all for being here again, and I'm going to toss it over to Sir Heck.
Alrighty. Hello, everybody. It is I, Sir Heckalot, and you can find me at Sir Heckalot on pretty much everything. Twitter, Insta, on the Discord. Hit me up. I love talking to people, and you all are lovely. So, heck yeah. This has been a pleasure. I cannot wait to do this every single week. It's going to be so fun. Because, yeah, I get to share my unsolicited opinions on everything that happens in TPK. It's great.
And you all have to listen to what I
Yes,
say.
listen.
Or you could just mute me during the portions I'm talking. That's valid too. I wouldn't know. But yeah, good night, lovelies. Have a good one.
Good night. We will be back next week.
Making dope shit.
Keep making dope shit.